Callahan Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Hangin with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 11:30 The Tiger up in Shreveport. I reckon it's colder up there. A little nip in the air down in South Louisiana. How are they doing up in North Louisiana?
It is funny how people think it's like Antarctica up in North Louisiana. I was up there this past week, and somebody from South Louisiana is like, man, is it always this cold up here? I'm like, man, it's like a little colder.
Is it a dry cold? Just thought I'd ask.
Right. I'm sure it's cold there too, though. But yeah.
My friend Barrett Murphy, who used to do the high school scoreboard, I did games with him. He's called the Frozen Chosen up in North Louisiana. So if you're listening up with us in Shreveport, it's a little bit cooler than it is down here, but we got some cool temperatures. That's okay. Heading into the weekend, if you're watching along with us on CST or on YouTube, welcome in. Cade Wazan in the audio chair, Paul O'Neill in the video chair, and along with Jacob Hester, I'm Charles Hanagriff.
And you're in the sinking chair.
I hope not. I think we got that fixed.
We'll see.
We hired a carpenter. He just can't. So the chair doesn't adjust anymore, but at least it doesn't sink. That was my hope, anyway.
Did he fix the air conditioner?
The air conditioner works fine.
Oh, you're right. You're right. The
heater,
thermostat, I guess, maybe.
The heater, maybe. So we start today with I can't tell you that we have an update, but I know everybody is clinging to the story of Marcus Freeman to LSU. So for those that have asked on Twitter or that have texted me personally or that have asked me, he came, he met, he left. I don't know what that means. I wasn't in the meeting. You weren't in the meeting. We don't know what's going through his head right now. We know that Notre Dame was another school that he met with, and that's just the ones we know about. I floated this idea to you yesterday, and I'll do it again because that's where we are now.
Yeah.
Which was, what's the chances that he and his wife decided before they went on this little mini tour this week to look at jobs? Because he does have 6 children, and ordinarily I don't delve into the family life of coaching candidates, and I'm certainly not going to do that here because it's none of my business, and it's not really. I'm sorry. I can't. I was going to say it's not relevant to the discussion. It is a little bit because it may affect whether or not he wants to move, and if the man wants to stay where he is for another year. Because he doesn't want to move 6 children, then I completely respect that. Or if he wants to only move them one time and he wants to stay where he is because he thinks he can get a head coach, I completely respect that. So I bring it up only because it is relevant to the discussion. And I asked you yesterday, what was the chances that he and his wife sat down and said, we're going to take these visits, we're going to do these tours, we're going to have these meetings, but we are promising ourselves that we are going to come home, sit down as a family. And I'm not suggesting that the young children are going to sit down and tell them, hey, Mom, I don't want to move. Yeah. I'm saying that they sit down as a family and they put everything out there, talk to Luke Fickell, which I think is the honorable thing to do, no matter what his decision is, and then we will make a decision. Yes, it's time sensitive, but it's not so time sensitive that we have to have a decision. I understand people's trepidation that when you have a candidate that you want, you'd rather have him sign a contract before he leaves the building, or at least agree to terms in a gentleman's agreement, and you have a verbal agreement moving forward. But what if, in the case of a man with a large young family, that he wants to take another day or two and go home and decide? I don't have any problem with that.
I don't have any problem with it. And
family, so do you think that's maybe what's in play here?
Yeah, I think family is so important when you're talking about having young children and moving them. And you've always been in your safe space. You've always been in Ohio, or you've been at Purdue for a little bit, but a lot closer to Ohio than you would be if you moved down to Baton Rouge. And so I think it's a big decision. if I'm not mistaken, I think Bo Pelini's family actually stayed in Youngstown because he had a daughter in high school, and I can't imagine what that was like for him. And so it's very difficult. I've told the story of when I was in Denver, I was away from my family for 4 months, and I was still seeing them every weekend. I'd fly to Denver on Thursday. They had a direct flight to Shreveport. I don't know why they had a direct flight to Shreveport, but they had one. Thank goodness.
Man, I can't get a direct flight to Denver out of Baton Rouge. What are you doing?
Thank goodness that they had one, but that was very difficult because Kate was pregnant. She wanted to stay there. She had help from family members, and obviously her doctor was there, and that was very difficult. And so you're talking about a big decision to move your family across the country. And hey, if you want to take an extra day, I know that's not the norm in a coaching search. Typically you sign like the offensive coordinator and passing game coordinator. Typically that's the way it's done. By the way, Jake Peets has a big family as well, but that's the way that it's done typically. But it's not to say it's the only way that it can be done. He might have promised Luke Fickell, because don't forget that relationship is strong. That was his position coach.
By the way, I think that is a positive for him, that he has the integrity to tell the head coach and somebody that he's close to and wants to go back and say, listen, this is too good an opportunity to pass up. I have to take it. And Fickell would understand that, but not do it in a text message or a cell phone call, that he wanted to do that in person. I think that is the honorable thing to do as well.
I do too. And I know it's not done that way normally, but this relationship is extremely strong. I mean, your position coach, and I can just tell you, I've had position coaches in my life that have meant so much to me. In fact, every time we have a hurricane or a hurricane warning in South Louisiana, the first message I always get is from my Chargers running back coach. Every single time. He's like, hey, checking on you, Jake. How y'all doing? The family, y'all good? Y'all staying there? Y'all going up to North Louisiana? What are y'all going to do? Every single time. Like, that means a lot. So, like, if I was in this situation, I'd say, hey, coach, before I do anything, I'm going to come talk to you last. You'll be the last person that I talk to. So it's just because he's not the LSU defensive coordinator right now, that doesn't mean that he can't be. It just means he's doing it a different way. He's going to talk. He very easily could return to Cincinnati. They got 15 starters coming back. That's going to be a top 10 team in the country. They just got good news on one of the guys they thought would go pro coming back. It's not out of this world that he would stay there and do what we talked about yesterday, parlay that into a head coaching job. So that's still there. It's not just Notre Dame or LSU.
Especially if he believes and that Luke Fickell is honest with him, which we would assume. And he says, Luke Fickell tells him, listen, man, I like it here. It's going to take a hell of a job to get me out. But here's a list of jobs that might work. And if I get that job, you're getting this job. He may decide that. Let me draw on your personal experience again. You came down to try out for the Saints your last year.
Right.
What if instead of New Orleans, that opportunity had been in Buffalo or New England or Seattle, and you'd had to make a decision to either move your family halfway across the country or stay apart from them, and let's just say that there might not have been a direct flight from Buffalo to to Shreveport.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have affected your decision? You had young children. Your wife was pregnant at the time. I mean, wouldn't that have affected your decision?
I didn't even go down to New Orleans because I'd just done so much to my family.
There's a direct flight from New Orleans to Shreveport.
I just moved them, across the country from San Diego. We moved back to Louisiana, and then I got the call from Denver. We moved from Louisiana to Denver. Then I got released. We moved from Denver back to Louisiana.
Yeah.
And, just at that time, I said, no, I need to establish something different, establish some roots, get my children in the same school for 12, months. Obviously, I know they don't go 12 months, but the same school, not do 6 here, 6 there. That's just not – it's not growing them, right? It's not growing who they're going to become. They don't, they don't have the ability to make the friendships that last and, socially go out with the same people and kind of get their routine down. So that's why I turned down that offer. Now, I didn't want to have my 18th knee surgery either, but still, it was more the family aspect of it.
I got to think it's going through his head an awful, and I don't know the man at all, but that he wants to be a head coach. He wants to have that happen very quickly. And if he can help it, he'd like to do that with the least amount of moves possible. Okay. But again, jumping from D.C. at Cincinnati to a Power 5 head coaching job is not as likely as jumping from the LSU D.C. to a Power 5 head coaching job. So he's got to weigh that. It might take an extra year. Might take 2. Who could say? From LSU's standpoint, I think there's an opportunity here to step back, evaluate your meeting. Do we think it's a yes? Do we think it's a no? We don't know for sure, but they do have an opportunity here to gather plan B. And I've been asked a dozen times or more, sure you have as well, hey, what happens if Freeman tells them no? And I don't have a good answer to that question. I don't know if you, maybe you do, but I don't. I've got some other names I could throw at you, but names would be all they would be. I think that they have pushed their chips in the middle of the table on this guy, and if they don't, well, they're going to have to buy back in and go find another guy. I'm sure they have a list.
Internally, for sure.
Internally,
but
they have a list.
In this, I agree with you. We're hearing 3 names. Like, even with the offensive coordinator, we started to hear some names like before that potentially could come in. They started to put some names together. I know Graham Harrell was one of them. By the way, he might be the next coach at Boise State. But so that's why it's a little different. It's the fact that you don't have like, okay, well, if they don't get him, they're going to get him. If they don't get him, then this is probably going to be the other option.
Yeah. So that conversation happens internally, and you move from there. I think they can afford to wait on him for a few days.
Yep.
I don't think that probably this goes past Sunday night. That's just he left yesterday. That was Thursday. You go take Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I need an answer. Mm-hmm. I need an up or down. Okay, you've had enough time at that point. I think 2 days is plenty. Make a decision. If you want to come here,
and that's
we'd
on
love
Coach
that.
O's timeline.
Yeah.
He said he wanted it done by Monday.
And I don't. But if they don't, if it's a no today or tomorrow,
then you pivot. Yeah.
Then I don't think you're going to probably have another DC in place by Monday. Not the end of the world. But I think they probably say, okay, go home, talk to your wife, talk to Luke Fickell, make your decision. Let us know tomorrow.
Right.
And then Sunday, you either get ready to introduce him to the team on Monday, or you get ready to have an interview with the next candidate or two. How'd I do?
I think that's about the timeline that you want. And it's not a gigantic rush because now of the early signing period. If we go back a decade ago, then it's a different story because you're trying to finish out a class. This guy's an elite recruiter. You want your recruits to know what kind of defense they're going to be playing. But look, you've got a majority of your guys not only signed, but you've got, I think, 7 of them coming in early. So that part of it's already kind of done. Now you can finish up with a couple of spots you have left, and maybe Marcus Freeman can help that. But that's why it's not a huge, you have to rush and get this done. I mean, you still do have some time. I mean, Coach O said that's wishful thinking that they could get their guys in place by Monday, and it'd be great if they could. But if it doesn't, you still have time. You hadn't even, the football season doesn't even end until Monday.
Right. And I did see the tweet. If we're going to talk about recruiting for just a second, I did see the tweet from Rajon Davis that he would that it would go a long way towards helping LSU if they were to hire Marcus Freeman. That's good. I had personally kind of written him off. If this brings him back, fantastic. I'm not counting on that, but if it helps, then by all means. I expect that if Marcus Freeman takes his job, he will be a tremendous asset in recruiting as well. But signing day is not Monday.
Right.
You still got time. So we'll see. That's where we are. So I don't know if it's an update as much as it's a, hey man, we're just in a holding pattern for another probably. And for all I know, he could have decided this morning over eggs and waffles and called Coach O 15 minutes ago. I don't know, but we wait. That's okay. Yeah. We're brought to you by Small Sliders. You know what we had yesterday? We had Small Sliders at my house. I got all the way home. My wife says, you didn't answer your phone. I went to silence you. I wanted you to pick up some Small Sliders on the way home. So,
wait a minute.
You know what? I can turn around and go back,
absolutely.
which I did, right? I went back to had a little renovation earlier this week, so they were down for about a day and a half. But let me tell you something, they didn't miss a beat yesterday, man. Small Sliders. East Boyd at Nicholson, just a quick little hop over from the LSU campus. Get your delicious fries, sliders, and shakes over at Smalls.
I do have a funny story. So the other day, I think it was Monday, I pulled through there with the 12-passenger van, and you could tell they were
make the corner?
They were getting ready. Like, there was an employee right there, and they were getting ready. Like, here comes the soccer team. I said to him, I was like, no, it's just me. It's just me. Yeah, sorry. This is my vehicle.
Do you get looks when you're in the 12-passenger van by yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Like you could downsize a little bit, man?
Yeah, like what are you doing in that by yourself? I'm like, hey,
Like my kids are at
sorry,
school right
they're
now.
at school. I promise there's like 97 car seats back here, but you know what? They still handled up and they got what we needed over at Smalls.
That's pretty good. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. They talk about changing lives. Well, they're talking about now a local initiative right now. GMFS Mortgage is giving away $10,000 in Visa gift cards. That's right. To those who visit participating Go Local businesses. They created the Go Local initiative to support local businesses that make our communities feel at home. And now, as we are hopefully coming out of the pandemic, it's never been more important for these local businesses. So if you want to know who some of these businesses are, 2 minute account. So go to gmfsmortgage.com/go local. You know how we spell go around here. GEAUX local. GEAUX local, and help the folks out here locally and get a bonus from GMFS, giving away $10,000 in Visa gift cards. Start your financial journey today, whether you are buying, refinancing, or adding to your home. Do what thousands of others have done and started at gmfsmortgage.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And today's show brought to you in part by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com for every meal that includes a little bit of rice. Well, do what we did over the holidays, do what we always do at my house, which is Supreme Rice. A little gumbo weather. Yeah, look, Hester's freezing up in here. We just brought some gumbo in here with you from Supreme Rice. Support our Louisiana farmers. All rice is not created equal. Down in Crowley, Louisiana, since the 1930s, all Supreme Rice grown, milled, and processed right there in Southwest Louisiana. Easy to get at all of your local Walmarts, all of your Costco's, all of your AG food dealers. So this weekend, or for your next family get-together, stretch that food dollar with Supreme Rice, whether it be in the brown, the long grain, or the jasmine varieties. You can get them in up to the 5-pound bags. For more information and great recipes, go to SupremeRice.com.
All right, so our last conversation before we took a break was about Marcus Freeman and our friends over at Football Scoop, who do a fantastic job. Sources, the all sauces. LSU on verge of nabbing top defensive coordinator. According to multiple sources, looks like LSU's doing pretty well right now as far as being able to land the top defensive coordinator candidate. So,
you ever watch The Simpsons?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you remember
long time.
You remember the one where they got Krusty the Clown to do whatever it was? They're like, how'd they get you to say yes? They put a dump truck full of money in front of me. Richard Dixon's with us, too. I imagine that LSU put a dump truck full of money in front of Marcus Freeman. Wouldn't you think?
You got to. I mean, if you're going to go out and try to get the top coordinators year in and year out, you're going to go against Notre Dame. I mean, Sarkisian's looking for a staff over there. It's going to come down to money and attractive spots, and I think LSU's got both.
I agree with you. It's and let me ask you this, because you haven't been here this week. A lot of people are like, wait a minute, do we really want a one and done?
Yes.
I say, yeah, because that means somebody wants to come and get them.
You want people who have a market value.
Yeah.
You want people. You don't want to go out and get. Let's take a shot on this guy and see if anybody wants him in a few years. Because to me, I mean, there's a school of thought of going against old coordinators. I mean, talk about like when I was getting recruited at Florida State. You had Jody Allen as a D-line coach, been there 15 years. You had Mickey Andrews, been the DC for 25 years. You had the coach who's been there for 30. That doesn't happen anymore. And what happened is it got stale. I think nowadays, especially with the way offense is evolving, defense is slow behind it, but still evolving. You got to go after young minds, guys that are energetic, guys that are trying to get their next big gig.
We're assuming that he would be a one and done or a two and through. We don't know that. What did you guys think when Dave Aranda took the job here? How long did you think he would be here?
I will say that one I felt different because we always heard that Dave didn't really want to be a head coach.
We thought NFL with him, right?
We did. We thought NFL defensive coordinator was probably his last landing spot, and obviously that didn't come true because he's now the head coach at Baylor. But that one did feel a little bit different. I'll be honest, though, when Joe Brady came and the success that he had, you kind of knew, okay, well, you're not going to keep this guy very long. But
I thought they'd keep him at least one more year. Until that
about the middle of the season, the middle of the season, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to keep him.
Well, until that gazillionaire bought the Panthers. What was his name? I'm blanking on his name, but until that maniac bought the Panthers, I thought they actually had a pretty good shot to keep him for one more year.
Yeah, but again, LSU fans, would you take that?
David
take it every
Tepper,
single
Tepper,
day.
I think is his name. Yeah.
Just don't say Lou Tepper. You take that every single day, right? You take a year of Joe Brady for what it gave
David
you.
Tepper, yeah. He's worth 12 times LSU's endowment. I knew they were in trouble at that point.
Well,
$13 billion.
You look at it, and obviously he was such a hot commodity. It could be a one and done in Carolina as well. I mean, he's getting the opportunity to go out and do head coaching interviews.
So Freeman comes in here. He does a good job, let's say. Well, he's going to have opportunities. It doesn't mean he's going to necessarily jump at the first one. We don't know what's going to be. We don't know what the landscape's going to look like a year from now. You can be kind of selective. Aranda had, if I'm not mistaken, guys,
small school opportunities early.
UNLV was the one that was probably, no, I don't want to go to UNLV. I can't really succeed at UNLV. What about Baylor? Well, I can succeed at Baylor. They didn't this year. It was, a screwy year. But he was able to parlay it into a coaching opportunity that didn't involve the guy in front of him getting fired.
Yeah.
Now, how often do you do of the job openings in college football, how often do you take over for a guy that wasn't fired, that either went to the NFL or retired?
Not often.
5% of the jobs. So that one was really attractive. Hey, the guy's not leaving because the program is a mess and he got fired. He's leaving because he's going to the NFL. Well, you take that job. Now, this year didn't work out for him, but you take that job. Maybe you come in here and you say, well, hey, listen, the job is open at, I don't know, Iowa State because Matt Campbell took a promotion. Yeah. Well, you probably take that job. But if Les Miles gets fired at Kansas, maybe you don't take that job.
No,
I wouldn't take that job for that dump truck you're talking about.
But isn't that the
big
whole
dump truck, right?
Yeah, that's the whole reason when Dave Aranda got his first big payday in Baton Rouge, when A&M was trying to lure him over there, we jumped up, paid him $2.5 million. You're paying these defensive coordinators $2 million plus because it makes it attractive to stay as a DC instead of a small school head coach. They're going to make more money building their career than they are starting at a smaller one. I think that's the reason why these guys get paid, and I think you're right. If you get a Freeman in here and you pay him the types of money, which I'm sure, I mean, they paid Bo Pelini $2 million. He's probably going to get $2 million plus. You pay him that significant amount of money to say, look, we're going to take care of you financially until you find the right spot.
I heard Hester promised you a Coors Light or two
you had to drink
for
one.
coming in. Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
the whole deal was Hanny had to drink a beer with me.
They are in the cooler.
You could have just put them out here on the counter, you know.
It's cold enough in here.
Well, those
accomplish the same thing.
those are for
those are for decoration.
For brand.
We could have put them out.
Flynn cracked into one of those last time we were
He
here.
did. I had to replace it.
That Flynn's been here.
He did. You weren't here. Maybe you're Taylor Swift. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's me. I've been thinking that for a while. I'm starting to feel a little bit self-conscious.
Did you talk bad about him when he was a player or something?
Not that I remember. No.
I think you must have just
No,
really.
what happened is
if I don't remember, he shouldn't.
it turned into
I
a
remember
3-hour
all of
show.
them.
You know how ADD Matt is. 3 hours scares him.
Yeah.
1 hour he's okay with. With 3 hours, all of a sudden he's like, I don't know if I can go in there.
We asked him to come in for the last hour or the first hour.
That's also Matt. You never know.
All Hester tells me is to go straight to voicemail. That's all I get.
We'll get text back the next day.
Yeah, I talked
like
to
in
him
a group
earlier.
text,
when he needs something, he's right.
He's very accessible then. But to your point, real quick, I remember almost every person that said something negative, not in I'm searching for it, but I used to use that as motivation. I remember plenty of people in Baton Rouge media when I first became the starting running back, and look, I get it. I realize. Yeah, there's a lot of people wait a minute. That's the starting tailback at LSU? I remember.
Gary Danielson called me a below-average receiving tight end.
And you have all the records.
Because somebody sent this to you guys, right? Please tell me you didn't pour through the game tape.
No, my mom told me. My mom found out about it, and she wrote so many emails to CBS about it.
Look, my guy, Lynn Rollins, I love him. He called me a Volkswagen Beetle. That's what he compared me to. And he's like, I meant as a compliment. I'm like, yeah, can you really mean that as a compliment?
Jamarcus threw the ball and got intercepted. He overthrew it. And he goes, I just don't get why he was throwing the ball to a below-average receiving tight end.
Wow.
Yeah, but
it's kind of mean.
You use those things you use those things as motivation. It's not like I don't care. I'm not going to go after the guy. But.
Houston Nutt, when I committed to LSU instead of Arkansas, he said that I did not have the size to play in the SEC.
All right.
You remember those things?
Yeah. Apparently you guys do. It's been quite a while.
Wait, now hold on. But if somebody said, man, that Charles Hanagriff, he's just terrible at radio, would you remember that?
There's been so many.
No, but somebody that was published.
When I was on pre-internet and certainly on pre-social media. So for the first, I don't know, probably going on 6 or 7 years in radio, the only feedback we got was from people that either call the show or people that came up to you.
Yeah.
And most people are polite enough not to walk up to you in public and say you suck. And most of the people that call on, if they'll disagree with you, they're not brazen enough. That's why, tell that coach, but when they call a coach to show, they're like, coach, it's so nice to talk to you. So I didn't get some of the backlash until about probably 10 years into my career.
Yeah.
And then you get a lot in whatever I missed. My friends were sure to send me in the early days of message boards and things like that. But you learn to let it go, or
it's not like you don't let it go, but you do you can use it.
I had the newspaper clip from Houston Nutt saying it for a long time.
Moscona told me when we were on together one time, he's like, yeah, I was one of those guys at first. Like Matt told me that.
Well, yeah, but when not social media, when the internet, it was pre-internet, okay? I mean, the very first, message boards and stuff like that, people would send stuff to me, and oh, look, man, they don't like you. But I got more positive reinforcement than negative. I tried to dwell on that.
Yeah.
So one of the things you should know now about social media is somebody somewhere don't like you.
Oh,
more than one person.
It's not that.
Somebody
it's
doesn't
just,
like you.
It's somebody who's covering the team and watches them and doubts you, like you want to prove the doubts. Like when the player from Tennessee asked me why I wasn't running the football for Air Force, I took it personal. And for the rest of that game, they were going to feel why I was not playing for Air Force and why I was playing for LSU. That year and the next year in the SEC championship game, Coach Miles put in 20 ISO, an isolation play, for those comments, and he wanted me to set the tone the first play of the game. And if we can play that play at some point during the show, I'll show you.
Miles heard that?
He knew about it. I told him the story. He didn't hear. I told him the story. I was like, Coach, I thought it was funny. And he goes, okay. And then after that game, and then we were playing him, he's like, hey, I remember that. He goes, I got something for. Now we were going to put it in anyways, but he used it as motivation for me. He goes, I got something for you. We're going to put in 20 ISO. It's going to be you versus the safety one-on-one.
So you had to tell him, though.
Yeah.
Because Miles is the one coach that I actually believe. Most coaches will tell you, oh, we don't listen to all the noise. They listen to the noise, okay? We don't know if we're we don't know if we're an underdog. Who was the coach during the bowl season said, hey, not bad for a 10-point underdog, huh? I thought you guys didn't pay attention to that. And every one of them will tell you during recruiting, we don't pay any attention to any recruiting rankings, but let them have a top 5 class and they'll say, oh, look, we were ranked top 5. But Miles was the one coach that I really believe didn't listen to anything, because when he was fired, it seemed like he was taken aback. Like, are people criticizing me? I had no idea. Wait, have you been here for a while? He actually didn't listen. He was just completely
this was a story,
isolated.
On the field. So a player
He's the
told
only
me,
one I believe.
Yeah, and I thought it was a funny story because, my helmet popped off and the guy was surprised, and he asked me why I wasn't playing for Air Force. And so, no, it was a personal story. So the first play of the next time we played Tennessee, I wanted to show why I wasn't playing for Air Force. No disrespect to anybody who played for Air Force. Great program.
I think you'd have been really good at Air Force. You might have left as Air Force's all-time.
My dad was in the Marines, so probably. I guess the Marines play for the Navy football team, so I'd probably play for the Navy.
We are brought to you by Small Sliders, East Boyd at Nicholson, just a short drive from LSU. Slide on through for freshly made sliders, fries, and shakes. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, and Richard Dixon with us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
Our friends over at Patient Plus with a home environment here, a locally run business. They offer all the common urgent care services, but, for things like x-rays, for EKGs, for sports physicals, for IV hydrations, located 6 different locations around the Baton Rouge area, 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. All walk-ins are welcome. They accept almost all major insurances. And Jacob, it's been invaluable for a guy like you that's got a large family. And, boys will be boys. They will get nicked up here from time to time.
Yeah, I think we all know that, right? Hey, and money matters too. We've all had to have the emergency room experience, and we know what that can cost, right? That's why Patient Plus is there for you. That visit to the urgent care is going to do a little bit different things to your wallet than when you have to go to the emergency room. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. You can set everything up, your appointment right there. PatientPlusUC.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we're brought to you by Smalls Sliders. Yeah, just a little short jaunt from the LSU campus. Slide on through like we did yesterday. We even got leftovers.
Leftovers?
Yeah, because, I'm not bringing 1 or 2 home. I mean, I'm bringing 4 home. There's always going to be something left over. So small sliders, you can slide on through right there just off the LSU campus for delicious freshly made sliders, fries, and drink and shakes. This is a question out of the Bayou Ford huddle or chat. Ooh. It says, this is from Vince, it said, guys, don't you think Freeman is using LSU and Notre Dame offers to work Cincinnati for a better deal that includes the head coaching job when available? I don't. No. And there's a couple of reasons for that. There is a significant difference between the Cincinnati defensive coordinator job and the LSU job. Now, the Notre Dame job, and if you'd ask me, is he playing Notre Dame and LSU off of each other, then I would say yes. Yeah. That if he went in to Ed on Thursday and said, this is what Notre Dame has offered, you have to beat that. Okay, I have this offer in my back pocket, or I don't know if he's going to be that brazen about it, but I think he can play Notre Dame and LSU off of each other. I don't think he's trying to play them off Cincinnati because, number one, Cincinnati is not going to be able to match the money at LSU or Notre Dame. The second thing is I don't think Cincinnati can say with a great degree of certainty when Luke Fickell's going to move on. I mean, if they knew that Luke Fickell was only going to be there another year, then maybe. But for all we know, Luke Fickell could be there 3 more years, 5 more years, 7 more years.
How much are they paying him at Cincinnati right now?
2.6.
Yeah.
How much is Freeman?
Oh, I'm sorry, Fickle. Is it $600,000?
Yeah, I think
It's $600,000. So you're not playing that. I mean, you're talking about $600,000. $2 million is the bottom. I mean, the floor at LSU is what he's going to get. I don't know what Notre Dame's going to do. I don't suspect, and that's just, I don't see Notre Dame getting into a bidding war over that. I don't know what Notre Dame really pays their assistant.
It's a private school, so
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to
It's
figure
hard
out
to
that
figure it out
information.
like it is. Yeah.
I get the question, though, because coaches do throw that stuff out there. For instance, Dan Mullen right now has his agent circulating his name in NFL circles because he wants a contract extension that he was on the verge of getting right before COVID hit. Scott Strickland was they were drawing up the paperwork, they were going to do it, and then COVID hit, and they put the whole thing on the back burner. This is a very obvious ploy to me by Mullen to get something that he wants at Florida. Personally, I don't know that I would bite if I were Strickland. I'd say this is what we're going to offer you, and if you want to go coach the Jets and they offer you the job, bon voyage. But that is what he's doing. You can play like institutions off each other, and you can play the NFL off. You can't play a Power 5 school like LSU or Notre Dame off of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, and I agree with you. But when you're talking about in the crowd of people that are saying, do you want to go get Freeman, who's a 1 or 2 year guy? Well, I guarantee you that's what Pete's goal is. He saw what Joe Brady did.
Yeah.
He wants to come here for 1 or 2 years max. I mean, he's not planning on staying here for 4 or 5 years. And I'm okay with that. If you're going to go get, the best of the best, give them some money, and then have your program tied to these greats as they go on.
You're no longer going to have Jimbo Fisher be the offensive coordinator at LSU for as long as he was. Like, think about how long he was here as the offensive coordinator. And he was, I mean, you weren't here then, but when Nick was here, I mean, he was the head coach of the offense. That's what we called him. I mean, he ran the offense. I mean, so it's not like he wasn't qualified. He had done it at other places before, but you're just not going to get that anymore. Like, that is not, like, even
You're
when
either going to do well and get promoted, or you're going to do bad and get fired.
Yeah.
One way or the other, you're going to be out of here in 3 years.
The only way you get the retreads are guys that went and took the shot as a head coach and got fired, like a Barry Odom. He was a young
Mike
guy,
Bobo.
made his way up. He got his chance at a head coaching job, didn't work. Now he did a hell of a job at Arkansas this past year. And I was okay with him when his name started circulating just because I know what type of coach he is. But I also agree with enjoying the younger coaches and the up-and-comers.
Yeah. And again, like, we're not breaking news here because obviously Football Scoop and other people have had it, but I have heard that this thing's on the 1 yard line. Like, I just got confirmation that it is on the 1 yard line. If it doesn't get done, they would be completely shocked. So
there's no I's or T's in Freeman, so there's no I's to dot and T's to cross. We got to come up with another little 1 yard line. That's good.
I'll get in on the 1 yard line. Let me talk to him.
Give it to him. When we come back, want to get your thoughts, Richard, on the Corey Raymond situation. We move to another coaching deal because Corey's somebody both of you know pretty well. The story has circulated that Steve Sarkisian has made him an offer to be the defensive backs coach at Texas. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're brought to you by Small Sliders, just a little short jaunt off the LSU campus. Nicholson at East Boyd. Slide on through for delicious sliders, fries, and shakes. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, brought to you by Richards Honda. You can find them online at richardshonda.com. Over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, we've been telling you about the buy from home option. It's a 7-step process to get your vehicle delivered to you. You just fill out a little bit of information. You get the pricing just where you want to get the pricing. You start to add some of the features that you want on your vehicle. You compare some of the vehicles that you've put together. And at the end of the 7-step process, you get the car, SUV, hybrid, truck, whatever it is, delivered straight to your doorstep. That's incredibly great service they offer over at Richards Honda. But do not forget to go see them at 13413 Millaville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge. That's I-12 and Millaville, with over 700 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot. I tell you every single day because it's true. You'll find something that you love and that fits you or your family's needs over at Richards Honda, no matter what it is: car, truck, SUV, midsize, full-size SUV, van. They've got it all over at Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder, Her doctor connected her to an Auctioneer Care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 104.5ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We're brought to you by Small Sliders. Right down the street from LSU, East Boyd at Nicholson. Slide on through. Delicious sliders.
Seen Jake eat 5 in 2 minutes one time.
Oh, yeah, we did. With no help from my partner.
Well, because you got caught lying.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what? Oh, because I was trying to get you, yeah. I met my actual partner that actually ate the burger. So I fully tried to get Richard to come in and be like, oh, hey, you want to do this for me? Just because I enjoy small sliders so much that I didn't want to have it in an eating contest, you know, and maybe do something there.
Oh, yeah, I remember when
it was an eating contest.
He called me and told me, hey, I need you to come to this event.
Hey,
didn't tell me anything about it. I'm like, all right. He's like, I was like, where is it? He's like, oh, it's a small slider deal. We're going to be here. Be there at this time. I said, okay. And I walk up and I realize it's an eating competition. I'm like, no, I don't want to eat all these burgers.
And your competition
right
is T-Bob.
Yeah.
So now you're in trouble, right?
Although I gave T-Bob a run for his money. He did 6, 8, 5.
You did really well.
Yeah.
Corey Raymond and the Texas job. Now, yesterday when this first started to break, it was like, well, are they going to offer him the defensive coordinator's job? We found out since that it is the defensive back's job. So what say you on Corey Raymond considering this? He is the LSU defensive backs coach. He may very well be the coach over the entire secondary next year, depending on how they configure this. And he is a recruiting coordinator at LSU, making right at $600,000 a year.
Was it last year or the year before that Georgia tried to get him? I think it was. People have gone after him the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't see him making a lateral move, especially leaving his alma mater. And then, to me, it's a good thing. You want, Sarkisian's going to Texas to try to bring Texas football back. He's supposed to try to get the best coaches possible.
Sam Ellinger said it was back.
Oh, well, he was wrong, obviously. But, that's what he's doing. He's going to go get the best coaches. So, yeah, to me, it's a compliment that Corey's coming up and they want him to come be there. But, I don't see Corey leaving for a lateral move. I was more nervous, like you're talking about yesterday, when we were still wondering if it was a DC job, because I figured, if they throw the DC job, he's gone. He's going to be over there. As a lateral move, what are they? He's making $600 now. They're going to offer him $700. Okay, give him $750. I think Corey's worth every bit of a $150,000 raise. He brings the best DBs in, year out. He coaches them up. He's the reason, or one of the main reasons we've maintained DBU. He's a very important person to this program. So to me, I don't care what type of bidding war, as long as it's a lateral move, we should continue to outpay anybody who wants to make him another DB coach.
You don't lose guys like that. You can't lose guys like that for a lateral move. In fact, you have to do everything you can not to, because this is a guy who played at LSU. He's from Louisiana, right? He's come back here. He started here as a GA. He went and established himself at Nebraska, Utah State, other places. Then he comes back, and you're exactly right. There's been players that have made up DBU before he was a full-time coach here. We can go to Corey Webster, Travis Daniels, LaRon Landry. We can go through the list. But he's the guy who kind of made it like a deal. He made it a deal to be called DBU. And I said it yesterday. He brings guys back, to call up the DBs before home games, guys that matter.
Even the names you were just mentioning, he was a part of the staff for a lot of those guys. He was a GA early on with LaRon Landry and a lot of those guys. So he's been a part of some of the greatest DBs to come through LSU. I don't see how, any way possible, you let him leave on a lateral move. I don't care if you get into a bidding war, pay the guy whatever you have to pay, but unless someone wants him to be the DC and you're not willing to make that elevation, then you got to outpay anybody for a lateral move.
There's two career paths that I would compare Corey Raymond to, and both of them have been at LSU. And it's the one reason why I think there's a decent chance that Corey Raymond will never be a coordinator. Now, hang with me here for a second. Frank Wilson was looked at as an ace recruiter. As good as it got, and he was the running backs coach here, and he was the recruiting coordinator. But Frank was never looked at as the mastermind behind offensive schematics. Mm-hmm. He was just a guy that coached his position, coached as well, and recruited his behind off. And when Frank left here, it wasn't for a coordinator's job; it was for a head coaching job at Texas San Antonio, and to a lesser degree, Ed Ogeron, who was also never a coordinator, who was looked at as an ace recruiter and who coached the defensive line and coached it really well, but who was never looked at as a big schematics guy, as a big strategy guy that would be in position to call your defense.
Dabo was a position coach.
Dabo Swinney's
Sam
another
Pittman
one
at Arkansas, position coach.
Yeah, so I wonder if at 52 for Corey, if the next step is not a job not unlike what Frank Wilson took. If there's a job that's open, it's a smaller school but a head coaching job, that may be the next move for him, because I don't know. Texas is offering him essentially the same job he has here. He gets in the conversation for a lot of these jobs, but he doesn't get in the conversation for a lot of coordinator jobs, at least not that I've heard. And at some point it may come along and say, you know what, you're going to skip that step. We're going to make you the head coach at Texas San Antonio or a smaller school like that. And that may be the next move. That may be what it takes to get him out of Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Just a thought, because I don't. When yesterday it's like DC, no, it's defensive backs coach. And one day a school of the size of Texas San Antonio is going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to go get that ace recruiter, and we're going to go get that guy to lead our program, and we're going to see if that works. Maybe. Does that comparison make any sense?
I agree with you 100%. And that's why I was saying someone comes after him every year for a DB coach, because they know how good of a DB coach he is.
And would he have a better DB coach job than the one he's got here?
No, you can't.
It's the best in the country.
Yes.
And especially at your alma mater. So I'm not worried about someone taking him for a lateral move. Now, if they're going to start throwing a bunch of money at him, I think it is LSU's right, and they should pay him whatever they can to keep him here.
Which they did with Frank, and they did with Ed, to keep him here as position coach and recruiting coordinator, and then Frank got a head coaching job, and then Ed got got this head coaching job.
If Texas wants to offer him a DC job, then Orgeron has the right to look him in his face and say, you need to take that job.
Yeah. Sure.
We're not going to give it to you. So, I mean, if not, then we're going to say, I will pay you to stay here.
By the way, he's like the youngest 51-year-old that I've ever met. Like
when you just said,
I said 52.
He's 51.
51. I'm
you
sorry.
said 50, and it shocked me. I still look at Corey like he's 35 years old.
I do too, because we knew him as a young coach, and he still looks the exact
pretty much the
same.
same.
Yeah. So
those people that don't age, man, just mean.
I still think Corey's like straight out of college, coaching us a little bit, a little bit younger.
Hey, he went to high school, New Iberia, then he went to Westgate, then he came straight to LSU. So that's kind of where we first knew Corey Raymond.
Freeman thing, very close.
Very, very close.
Very, very close.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Why don't you have a camera on the goal line, Hester? I mean, what's the camera doing any good?
You're
2
right.
yards behind.
Look, I told you I
line,
can
right?
get in from the one. Like, if there's ever anything I could do, it's that.
You can get in from the one. We couldn't get in from the one against Missouri this year, and it really upset me.
Okay, but I wasn't there. You weren't there.
If you would have been there,
Richard actually did a really nice job in that last play against Florida.
The one that got you in the end zone. And behind him,
crushed some guys.
He did nice.
I don't remember
nice
that.
job. Well, he wasn't
Why did I
fullback.
think
No, he
that
was in
an-
motion.
Oh, okay. That was an interior play.
I was
wasn't it?
all on the goal line plays. I was the guy that went in motion and was just throw my head and try to blow somebody up and disregard your body every time.
You did a nice job. We'll take a break. Back hour number 2, hanging with Hester and Hanny. Richard Dixon with us here. Brought to you by Small Sliders. Nicholson at East Boyd, just off the LSU campus for delicious sliders, fries, and shakes. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 2, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Richard Dixon in with us on a Friday afternoon. Came to Fluster and stays for the Coors Light, right?
Definitely. I said I'm coming in today as long as Hanny drinks a beer with me.
All right.
You did. I have the text to prove it. By the way, I forgot we are giving away our hat today.
Yeah.
I know we've had some news kind of come up with Marcus Freeman, and I guess that's more important than our hat giveaway, but we're still giving it away at 2:45 on
How about we give the
today's
hat to
show.
Marcus Freeman?
That's a great idea.
Or a hat to Marcus. Not this hat,
I'm
but
pretty
a hat.
sure he can get this hat now. Like he's in the club if he signs with LSU.
Well, you think it's in the contract?
He can. Yeah. I need the state of Louisiana hat that I've seen Hester wear because, of course, everybody watches. That's
Nobody
what he
else can
wants.
get that?
No.
You're one. Oh, well, I'm gonna
You
talk
haven't
to you
heard
after the
this.
show.
You haven't heard this.
I've been a little bit busy lately.
This is the holy grail of
Every
LSU
time, so every
hats.
time I wear it, people ask like, "Hey, Hester, where
Every
did you
time
get the
Hester
hat?"
gets a new hat, I call some guys over the stadium.
So
Hey, I need that
it's
hat.
exclusive. We'll put it that way.
So let's say that they push this thing over the 1 yard line. If you're joining us late, the reports out that we have confirmed is that they are as close to finished as you can get with Marcus Freeman, and that's very good news. That was who they targeted. That was who they brought in, and it looks like they have pretty close to seal a deal here. So they're ready to go. I think it's all over but the official announcement at this point. Hey, maybe we'll catch a break before the end of the show. We'll get
maybe it'll
official-
come like
No, they're going to wait to give that to Moscona.
No, it'll come like
10 after 3?
2:45.
Right.
Let's get it at 2:45. guys.
So we could get that. Dixon, you block him in that game?
I didn't realize he played in the game until I started hearing guys talking on the radio.
I remember him.
Okay, you block number
Leonidas
one.
is the one I remember
He had
playing.
14 tackles in the game.
Well, I'm sure he tackled me, or at least hit me a few times. I know he hit you. I mean, as many carries you got in the game. The linebacker I matched up with, it seems like the whole game was Leonidas.
Yeah, me too. We knew each other extremely well after the game. In
So
fact,
you two
that's why
guys were
we're
busy
friends
blocking
today.
Laurinaitis, and Freeman was making all the tackles?
That's probably how he got to 14.
I tell you what, of all the people out, on that team that we game plan for, Vernon Golston was the number one.
Was the one that scared me.
And I'll be honest with you, he was a good player. He really was.
He wasn't as good as he looked.
Yes. And Laurinaitis was
The Jets
every
found
bit.
out that found out the hard
Laurinaitis
way.
was every bit as good as he was advertised.
I'm telling you, the first play of the game, I line up and I put my hand in the dirt. And I see this guy's arms. I'm like, oh, God. He is about to kill me. His biceps were bigger than my helmet.
Oh, my gosh. He was. I worked out with him for the combine in Arizona. I mean, physical freak. If you would have said this guy, I think he never got a sack.
No, he was bad.
He never got a sack.
It was
in the
all
NFL.
looks. It scared the crap out of me when I put my hand in the dirt and looked who I was about to block.
Yeah.
But after the play, I'm like, that's really not that good.
You think about that defense. We mentioned Marcus Freeman, James Laurinaitis, and, of course, yesterday was the 13-year anniversary. Vernon Golston,
Cam Hayward,
Jenkins.
And Malcolm
Jenkins, who's still playing for the Saints. Kurt Coleman, who played in the NFL for a very
There was
long
some studs
time at
on
the
that
safety
team.
position. I mean, that was a really good defense.
I mean,
in full disclosure, I told this in private yesterday. I don't mind telling it. I had like 80-something yards, and they had not let up a 100-yard rusher that entire season. And, man, I wanted 100 yards. But we were up so much, and our guy, Richard Murphy, fellow number 18, got the last couple of carries. Like, man, it'd be really cool to get 100 yards. And Les and Larry Porter both like, go sit down.
Yeah. We won the game.
Go sit down. What are you doing here? It turned out okay.
Yeah, I thought it was just interesting, with Freeman coming in yesterday, and just happened to be the 13-year anniversary of when the game was played.
And then, of course, our loyal listeners like, hey, Hester, shut up. Stop talking about it. He might still be mad about that.
Talk amongst yourself. I got to check this story.
Oh, okay.
No, that was no problem. But so when you go back to that game, the players they had on that team they had some studs. But it just seemed like, we got our pregame jitters out. You had the Matt Helms. They still argue about it to this day. Whose fault was it on the fumbled snap? I just remember, like you said, the first player, Vernon Golston, when you line up, like, that guy is a freak of nature. And I think he ended up going like 6 overall, top 10.
He did to the New York Jets. And, again, I don't think he had an NFL sack in his career. So you get taken that high. That's hard to do. It really is. That's incredibly hard to do.
That's when you're talking about drafted off looks. I mean, that's an old Oakland Raider pick right there.
I'm surprised the Raiders didn't select him, in fact. But and we talk about it all the time. Those 2 games that we played in back-to-back years in the Superdome, and of course, this isn't us like chanting SEC, but it is a different brand of football. Whenever you play a team like a Notre Dame, like an Ohio State, at that time, I think the game's changed a little bit, and I think the skill positions have changed where you're getting some guys with real speed. But at that time,
was grinding it out.
They were, trying to be physical in the box. They were trying to be the more physical football team. They were. The old 3 yards in a cloud of dust, Big Ten football. We start at 11 a.m. That's what it was, right? And so, like, for us, we were like, man, that's why I don't want to say easy, but this is different.
Well, if you think about it and go back to thinking every time we played a team from up north or in that region, the first half was usually a pretty tough game.
Yeah.
But it was one of those times that we usually wore them out. I mean, they could play with us for a quarter, second quarter, mid-third quarter. Those guys were like, all right, they started getting tired, worn down, and that's usually when we took the lead in those games.
Not picking on Vernon because, like I said, Vernon's actually a pretty good guy and a workout warrior. 42 tackles in his NFL career, no sacks.
How long did he play?
Let's see, 8, 9, 10. Played 3 years on active roster. He was on practice squad. How about that? Practice squad for 2 different teams, being the 6th overall pick. It's pretty hard to do.
So back to the coaching search, because we can talk about Vernon all day, but he was a scary-looking human being.
Probably still is.
Where do we go after Freeman? Freeman's pushed across 1 year line. Are we looking for linebackers coaches?
He's going to be the linebacker coach.
Okay, so but he's going to hire someone to come in and D-line.
Yeah, you do an analyst. I mean, you can have an analyst help you out at that position. You still need a defensive line coach. Yeah. And you're probably going to pay your I know you are. You're going to pay your analysts much more on defense because of who you have on offense and the staff, because you already have Mickey Joseph, you have Mangus, you have Peets, you've got James Craig, you've got those guys in position. You've got Russ Callaway, the guy we talked about a lot. So offensively right now, you've got your squad that's field. Defensively,
does Pete's not want to bring anybody with him as maybe an analyst?
Oh, Mangus is going to kind of be. I mean, they've been together for this year.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys. Let me. I wanted to make sure I got this right before I announced it. LSU's game with Missouri, basketball game tomorrow with Missouri, has been postponed. LSU instead will play Ole Miss at Ole Miss tomorrow, and that game will be at the same time at 7:30. So LSU, Ole Miss, scrapped because of COVID. And it's got to be the Missouri COVID because LSU is going to play tomorrow, and they're going to play on the road at Ole Miss, same time, 7:30 with the tips. I want to make sure I got that.
That's crazy how fast games can change these days.
I never want to hear about scheduling and how difficult it is.
Question.
Ever.
They
again.
just changed a game opponent and location and 24 hours before the game.
This is about the time that they leave, right?
Yeah,
for a game.
Absolutely.
They just changed they told the pilot, hey, don't go there. Go here.
Hey,
hauled from the back.
We ain't going to Como, Bo. We're going to Oxford.
Flying to Memphis.
Hanger Reggie, right about the Mississippi State line. So
that's crazy. But even with football, they've done it this year, and it's always been one of those things. College football is scheduled out 10 years in advance. It seems like. I mean, we know games. 2028, we're going to play so and so. But now, it's Wednesday. Who can play this Saturday? And it's all worked out. I mean, they've gotten games done. It's just crazy how it's worked.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah,
you can
no doubt.
You can figure this. This is not how anybody wants to do. So imagine I'm not going to ask you guys from the basketball standpoint. I'll ask you from the football standpoint. What if you guys were getting ready to go on the plane to go play somebody, and all of a sudden they got up in front of the plane and the coach said, hey, instead of going to Missouri, we're going to Ole Miss. So everything we've been preparing
You
for.
better pass some iPads out with a game plan.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I know it's different. It's
because of
basketball,
the
but
game planning aspect of it. But oh my God, even if they did it, and they did it this year, even if they did that on a Monday, getting ready for a game.
BYU did it. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like if you did it on Monday, that's even because you do game prep for teams. Like in the off season, you do it for all the teams on your schedule. You do it 2 weeks. Yeah, that's why you have all these analysts. They do it 2 weeks before you play that opponent.
Yeah.
So they've already got a really good idea. And then all of a sudden, it's like, no, we're playing Coastal Carolina in Conway, South Carolina. They weren't on our schedule. We don't know anything about them. It's like, wait,
Go
what?
base. Go base.
Yeah, base 4-3, 12 personnel.
Well, I don't know.
Halftime.
I don't know how far out in advance the basketball guys do it, but they weren't supposed to play Ole Miss until
No.
February 17th. So I don't think they're 6 weeks out on basketball.
No, they're not.
Well, you know, if you do your first class, no class, that's first class right there. You know, getting something done right before, make sure you still have a game.
Funny you should mention that. It's next.
Oh, nice.
I was about to say, like, you radio teasing over here?
Nice. See, we brought him in, and he just flows right into the old act. We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feel, and Hangin with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we are brought to you by Garcia Roofing every single day. Something else you can count on every single day is Garcia Roofing and the work that they're going to do. And they back it up with the Garcia Guarantee. You know exactly what you're going to get. There's no tricks, and I can tell you there's no gimmicks. This is the roofing company that you want on the job. Please take full advantage of all the services that they offer. Of course, I've told you about the free roof inspection, but do not forget, it's not just a total roof replacement. They do roof repairs as well. So if you've got something going on, you think you might have a leak, we'll take advantage of the free roof inspection, and then they'll fix that roof repair, and they don't have to just come out for a full roof replacement, Hanny.
Any kind of residential roofing, shingles, metal, slate, Spanish tile, and all the things that dress up the job and make your home look great. Roof coating, gutter systems, gutter helmets, chimney caps, metal awnings, and, of course, attic insulation and siding as well. Roof now, pay later. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, and the North Shore. Garcia did myroof.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, no class, brought to you by Relief Telemed. Relief Telemed for businesses that can't afford to close down because of COVID. So get your tests from Relief Telemed, whether it be on their site or on your site. It starts with a video visit with a physician, and it ends with a diagnosis. And so through a dashboard, you know when your employees are ready to come back to work. So it makes it easy, Jake, as I know you have done, to manage your business and knowing what the availability of employees is.
Look, the on-site part of this is so crucial because, as we know, man, it's very difficult to get your entire team, your entire business somewhere, right? So they come to you. They make that part of it incredibly easy. And I tell you, because it's true. We had no missed days, no missed revenue. And we all know what revenue looked like for a lot of people last year. So that was key for us. Again, LSU Alexandria, the Santa Ana School District in California, they do it for them. So that means nothing's too big. And obviously, for my small business, nothing's too small. So please take full advantage of Relief Telemed. You can check them out online, relieftelemed.com.
I usually don't lead off. I usually let you guys lead, but I want to do a first class, and because I think you guys are going to join me in this one. Tommy Lasorda, the longtime manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, passed away today at the age of 93. He had just gotten out of the hospital. He had been in for quite a while, and he went home. He had what appears to be a heart attack at his home. He was 93 years old. He had been in the hospital since November the 8th, and he went home on Tuesday. He passed away this morning. If you love baseball, whether you like the Dodgers or not, was really irrelevant. I know, Jake, you're not a Dodger fan, you're a Braves fan. If you liked baseball, you had to like Tommy Lasorda because he was an ambassador for the game. I met Tommy Lasorda in 1980. I was 8 years old. And Tommy Lasorda came to Franklin, Louisiana to speak at our recreation center, which held about maybe 2,500 people because it was packed to the gills. And he gave an unbelievable speech. I took a picture with him that I still have to this day of 8-year-old Charles Hanagriff next to the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. A tremendous thrill for me. When he came to speak at the first pitch banquet for Paul Maneri, who's very, very close to, several years ago, I brought the picture and I'm like, hey, this is you speaking in Franklin. He's given thousands of speeches. He doesn't remember it, of course. But he promoted the game. He was funny.
Yeah, no question.
He was colorful. Can we say that? Because Richard, you met him as well later on in life, and you said it was as entertaining an hour as you spent.
He's one of the nicest guys. I got to meet him twice, both times at an LSU practice, and I was sitting in the dugout with him, and after 10 minutes of talking, you felt like you were his best friend. He wasn't holding anything back. He's cracking jokes that you look around like, did you just say that in front of people? I mean, he's just a guy that was, one of your buddies. I mean, he was a guy that was outgoing. He made you laugh, and he said whatever was on his mind. I just thought, he was one of the coolest guys I ever met, especially a legend like he is. And I probably met him a total of 3 hours in my life, and I felt like I knew him a lot more.
Tommy Lasorda, as a player, okay, was one of the best minor league players of his generation. He was the pitching version of Crash Davis. Back then, the Dodgers, they were based out of Brooklyn, their AAA affiliate was in Montreal. Lasorda won over 100 games for Montreal, okay? And he just never could quite stick in the big leagues. And he would always tell a story. He loved to tell it. Well, I don't know if he loved to tell a story, but he told it all the time about how he never won a game in the big leagues. But one afternoon against, I forgot who the team they were playing against, he says, I pitched 8 2/3 innings, okay? He said, he says, we got the lead, okay? We got the lead by a run, all right? He says, and there's a ground ball to short. He says, shortstop just got to throw the ball to first, and I'm going to get my first big league win. He threw it near first, almost to first, somewhere in the vicinity of first, allowing the runner to reach first base. He said the manager comes out to get him, Walter Alston, I believe it was at the time. He says the runner comes around to score on the relief pitcher. The bottom of the inning, we hit a home run. He said he made 3 pitches. He allowed the run to score. He got the win. I got the shower before all the hot water was gone. And Lasorda would tell a lot of stories like that. He was a longtime scout for the Dodgers. He was a minor league manager at Ogden, at Albuquerque. Like I said, the long playing career. And then, of course, as a third base coach and then the eventual manager of the Dodgers for 2 decades and won 2 world titles. Baseball's going to miss Tommy Lasorda. No like I said, whether you were a Dodger fan or not. So I want to start out. That's my first class. You're welcome to piggyback, or if you have your own to go into that.
That would be my first class, unless the news you just gave us. I think it's a first class move that Ole Miss and LSU were able to get a game together to play Saturday after the amount of time LSU's missed with cancellations already. Missouri has issues; they're not able to play tomorrow, and the power heads get involved, and they decide that they can move this game and go to Oxford, Mississippi, and play another game.
I'll kind of back that up, but I was going to come at it from a little bit different angle. And I've been guilty of it. I think all of us have been guilty of it, kind of forgetting about the athletes during this COVID time and how much change and how much they've really had to deal with. And it really hit me when Hanny was saying, if you're on the plane and they came on and said, hey, we're not going to Mizzou, no more Como, we're going to Oxford. Like, mentally, you prepare for an opponent. You prepare to get ready. You want to be at your best. And that's not even counting what you've done differently to lead up to that season and all the change and all the extra stuff that they've had to deal with, because college athletes, and I'm not just talking about football here, I'm talking about all athletes, men, women, any sport, Olympic sport, football, anything. Like, there's a lot on your plate. There really is. And you get great benefits from it. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot between school, study hall, relationships, of course, the sport that you're playing. Try to be somewhat social after if you can be, which you don't have a lot of time for. It's already a lot, so they've added extra to that. And, again, I'm guilty of it, and I went through being a student athlete. First class to everyone involved there. I mean, they have just gone about what they can. If they've had the opportunity to play, for the most part, those guys that have not opted out, they've stayed in it, they've done it, and it's not been easy. In fact, it's been incredibly difficult, and we just kind of forget about it, I think, and how much they're doing. We're more worried about, because it's what we do, we're more worried about, did they play the game? Are they going to play the game? And not what it took to get to the game. So that's incredibly, incredibly difficult to do. And I think basketball, maybe more than any sport, deserves the most credit because they are changing games. Basically, the day of travel, you're getting games canceled at a higher clip than you were football. You have a small team. And so if you have a case, it really shuts down the entire team. But we're seeing across the country, these programs are doing everything they can to play the basketball games. I mean, LSU and Ole Miss, and Missouri gets canceled here. We're going to play each other. You've heard me talk about Gonzaga has had multiple games. They're the number 1 team in the country. They've had multiple games canceled, and they're calling top 25. Hey, Virginia, what are y'all doing? Can y'all come play us? Can we play y'all? We'll meet you wherever. So, for me, first class to all these student athletes that are going through all this change and still trying to put a product out there on the court, field, whatever it is.
So second class is good with a chance to be great, right? My good with a chance to be great this weekend, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns will play a playoff game on Sunday night. That's right, playoffs against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They haven't played a playoff game since January the 5th, 2003. Also against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a game that they lost. They have not won a playoff game since January 1st, 1995. The 1994 season, the 1995 playoffs. So we're talking about a quarter century now. I grew up a Saints fan. I'm a few years younger than the Saints franchise, so I was a teenager before the Saints played in the playoffs. And I was at the Mike Lansford game where they almost made it, and I was a kid, and I cried, and I was just furious. And I saw them finally make the playoffs and get blown out. I was 29 years old before the Saints won a playoff game. So I know what the Cleveland fans are going through. I can speak with some experience here. They've had a good season because to make the playoffs, it's been 17 years since they did it. Wouldn't it be great if they could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? Now, they are decided underdogs. They will be without their coach. This is Baker Mayfield's first playoff game, and for Ben Roethlisberger, it's, 25 or whatever.
And they're not practicing this week.
And they're not practicing this week. Thank you very much, Richard. So it's good with a chance to be great. It's not quite Lloyd Christmas, but it's a long shot. But, hey, listen, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, aren't you going to be, glued to it because it's been so long? So good with a chance to be great. The Cleveland Browns.
And the Indians just traded their best player for young guys, so you need a little bit of it.
It's probably cold up there today.
Yeah. And I'm going to
gray skies.
I'm going to piggyback off that one. That's exactly where I was going to go. Just seeing these
you
guys
a lot of
finally
plagiarism
making it.
Today. I did too, though.
I did whatever I did, but it's also a team is tied for I think the highest amount of LSU players on it. So it's a team that I've watched a little bit more. You got a lot of LSU guys in that locker room now, and I just think it'd be cool for you to be a team with the most LSU players and to make that much of a change in a franchise. So it's something I'd be looking forward to watch this weekend.
All right, my second class, good with a chance to be great, is just LSU football and the moves that they've made.
Freeman's on the 1 yard line.
I think he's in. I'd be shocked.
I
really would. I think, it might be under review, but I think he's in there. You go get your top defense coordinator, the top defense coordinator candidate in all of college football, okay? You bring in some offensive guys that have relationships with someone you know very well, a guy who's already been here in DJ Mangus, and you go get Pete, a guy who's had 10-plus years in the NFL. The Athletic, Bruce Feldman and Brody Miller put a great article out on Jake Peets earlier. I'd encourage all LSU fans to go read that. You get Neil Farrell back. You get Ali Gay. You get your offensive lineman, Ed Ingram, which I just did not think was possible. You get all of those guys to buy Baskerville at the linebacker position. Hanny, we broke down the numbers. We were hoping, praying somehow some of these guys would come back, and you basically get
half of them,
all of them back.
You're just
outside the ones that you knew, you're waiting on Deculus and Rosenthal, and Rosenthal, I think, being the key one there. It's good with a chance to be great. So far, you won the last two games, right? And I'll say it every time because I know 5-5 is not the standard. In fact, it's far from the standard that LSU set. LSU is New Year's Six bowl game, or it was an unsuccessful season. That's the minimum for LSU, and it should be. It should be that place. You've won the second most national titles in the last 20 years. But right now, there's some momentum. Now you got to build off this momentum. You've got to take these young players on offense that thrived at the end of the season, and you have to develop them to be even better than they were the last time we've seen them. You've got to take the veteran players that came back. Just because you're a veteran player, that doesn't mean that you're at where you should be. They've got to raise their game.
Those guys are coming back to get better.
Ali Gay, he flashed. Yeah. No doubt that he flashed at times. He's got to flash for 12 games.
Yeah.
He knows that. That's why he came back. Okay, so you've got momentum. You've got a pretty cool opener in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, God willing, and it better happen. That better happen.
It's going to upset me if it doesn't.
You've got that you've got all this stuff going forward. You've got a quarterback battle. Not because you've got spare parts and you got to try to find a quarterback. No, you've got guys that have started games. I know it's not a lot, but Miles did well in his 3 games. TJ had flashes. Max finished with a flash, okay? And you've got a young guy coming in. It's all there. Now, what are you going to do with it? That's the part that can be great. You got a good recruiting class. I think 7 of them get here tomorrow. Let's see what you can do. So far, so good.
My no class, and I want to be as honest as I can be to lead off. I did not see this game. That's my cough drop. I did not see this game.
Well, I didn't know what he was going to whisper. I want to make sure I hit it.
Well,
make sure I didn't get called plagiarism after.
I didn't see this game, and I did not have any money on this game. So this is a complete third-party observation on this game from last night. But Northwestern was leading Illinois last night, 43-28 at the half. Now, if you're leading by 15 points, Hess, what are the in-game odds if you're up 15 at the half in a college basketball game? Your percentage chance of winning at that point, if you had to guess.
It's at least in the 80s.
I would think.
Yeah.
And it's a 15-point late. Now, if you actually bet the game, you got 6.5 or 7. Northwestern led by 15 at the half, lost the game by 25.
Yeah.
This is very hard to do. They got outscored in the second half 53-13.
That's tough.
I didn't watch the game. I didn't bet on the game. I had no rooting interest in the game whatsoever. It just, when I was going through scores doing research this morning, I was like, wait a minute. I remember that flash in last night. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. The first thing I thought of was I was watching the scores go through, and I think a lot of Illinois. I think it's a very good team. I've seen them play 2 or 3 times. So the score caught my attention at the half as it was going down on the scroll, that they were down 15 at the half to Northwestern, who's not very good. And I thought, wow. So when I saw the score this morning, I thought to myself, did I see a women's basketball score from last night? Was it the Northwestern women's basketball team that was ahead of Illinois? No, they got outscored 40 points in the second half. That's no class. I'm sorry. You can't get beat that bad.
I don't know how that happens.
I'm with you there. Since mine's kind of in the same line, I might have known somebody that had another game. Portland, 17.5-point underdog there.
Did you have a rooting interest?
17.5-point underdog. And they're up 43-41 at halftime. And the game you just mentioned, there might have been some form of betting where they put those two games together. Portland gets outscored 47-21 by San Francisco in the second half. 17.5-point favorite up at halftime. They lose by 24.
Mr. Van Pelt.
On point.
Mr. Van Pelt.
Yep.
Well, I'm not going to go with scores for my no class. I'm going to go with Coach Saban's daughter for the problems she's causing with my no class. When she comes out and tweets earlier this week that Ohio State is faking COVID cases so that their team can get healthy and that they can have everybody back and delay the game so that they're completely healthy when they play Alabama. Do you know, I wish I could have seen his face when somebody on his staff came and said, did you see what your daughter just tweeted? And the amount of problems that she is causing her dad to deal with on a week like this. Because to me, immediately her Twitter account is canceled. And then all of a sudden she creates a new one and she has to post this public apology. But to do that to your dad the week before the national championship game, he doesn't like any nonsense period anyway.
Right.
And to deal with that from your own daughter who knows him more than anybody, to go out and tweet something like that and cause all this distraction for him. Yeah. A little bit of no
She's
class
been very active on Twitter multiple times in the past, but this
she'll
year,
dog people.
This year she's been heavily involved in some criticism.
I seem to remember that the last time Ohio State played Alabama, they had a backup quarterback. In fact, they had the backup to the backup. Did they do well? I forget.
What was the backup to the backup's name? He got drafted.
Cordell Jones.
He copy tweeted.
Quote tweet.
What happened last time the backup played? But when he said that, I remember I saw that.
First class, second class, no class. Brought to you by Relief Telemed, helping your business navigate COVID. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hey T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench. Did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action. And we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 1045 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We are brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. What's going on with your Lions, man? You gonna what do you think about as we get into
well? Yeah, it's your Lions. I didn't play for them.
Hey, we made it to the playoffs when I was there. It was a long time ago.
I'm about to look that up. Actually, I watched the Lions and the Saints in the playoff game in the Dome.
Well, that was my last year there. I was hurt on IR, and I was at the game hanging out with some of my buddies.
We had a really good time in the Superdome in the first half, and the game was such a rout that we had a really good time at a very nice Mexican restaurant that served tequila afterwards in the second half. By the time the game was over.
Mexican restaurant serving tequila. No way.
In New Orleans. Who knew?
Do you think that Stafford is going to be a target from the Saints?
No, and it's mostly contract related. I asked what the asking price for Matthew Stafford would be among people I trust, and the word was it's a 1. And if the Saints were tasked with trading the 30th, 31st, 32nd pick in the draft for Matthew Stafford, I would do that. You know, he's going to be 33. You figure you can get 5, maybe a little bit more than that out of him. And under Sean Payton, I would do that in a heartbeat. The contract is cumbersome, though. What you would inherit and the cap hit that they're going to take on Breeze, I just don't. It's the same thing with would you kick the tires on Carson Wentz? Well, same problem. If you trade, the Saints really don't have the room for that. Would you take a shot with Dak Prescott? Or I would give 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson in a heartbeat. But again, you got the contract problems. It's why if you're the Saints, you're probably in the Taysom Hill. If you can bring Jameis Winston back, if you wanted to really make a big play for somebody like Sam Darnold because he's still on a rookie contract, the contract part is what bogs down, not the ability. If I could put Matthew Stafford quarterback in the Saints next year, no problem.
I have
Absolutely.
somebody ask me that once a week. They're like, "Hey, you gonna get your boy Stafford down to the Saints?" I'm like, I have no clue about it. I would love to see him down here.
The contract's a problem.
Hey, so on the other side of that, do you draft a player this year, late in the first round, and do you maybe go sign a veteran like the Colts did this year with Phillip Rivers for a 1-year deal till that guy develops? Because in that scenario, Jameis isn't here anymore, and Taysom's still able to do what he can do.
Do they even trust Jameis at this point? I mean, they gave him a shot early on, and then it's kind of been they went Taysom Hill.
He's the backup whenever it's in game and Drew's the starter.
String.
Like they've said that because they don't want to change Taysom's package. Well, you could still in that scenario if you went and got a veteran on a 1-year deal until your rookie became ready, you could do that. But is that what the Saints want to do coming off Drew Brees? They want to give it to a rookie. That's a lot of pressure following one of the greatest to ever do it.
If you take a quarterback where the Saints are going to be drafting, you are going to be taking at best, the 5th best quarterback in the draft. Yeah. Now, everybody could be wrong. Dan Marino went with the last pick of the first round or the second to last pick of the first round.
That part of it.
So if you trust your evaluation and whoever's available there, but you know that Lawrence, Fields, Wilson, Jones,
Trask,
Lance, and maybe Trask will all be off the board. So you're fairly deep into the quarterback pool this year at that spot. If you got a guy you like,
I don't like drafting my potential starter as the 7th quarterback in the draft. Now I'm okay with
the Saints never. I mean, with the current roster, they're not going to be picking high enough to get one of the top tier guys.
I would rather draft a project in 3rd through 5 and say, look, I want him to be the backup, and let's see where he goes.
They've tried that before. The cat from Colorado State was Grayson
Garrett Grayson
lasted 2 years.
Yeah, it didn't work.
3rd round
but
pick.
In my opinion, they just don't. They don't have a lot of faith in Jameis right now. And because
no, they don't.
You say he's the backup when Drew's in, okay, but so Taysom doesn't have to change his role. But when Drew's out, Taysom jumps him and he goes to the starter, and you're still letting him play that backup role. I would think if you had that much faith in him, then he would be the starter, and Taysom's role never changed. But to me, it's just they don't trust him running the show right now.
They don't. In this offseason, you will have in my opinion, it's a good offseason to be looking for a quarterback because there's half a dozen quarterbacks that could go in the first round. And if you feel that strongly, you can move up to get one, for whoever it is. I saw Schefter's mock draft this week. Trey Lance went, I want to say 19 or something like that. So if that's a guy you like from North Dakota State, there's a move to be made for him. Mac Jones will probably go in the second half of the first round if you wanted to make a move for him. Trask will probably be there when the Saints pick. So you can do that. But if you want a veteran quarterback, they're there to be. Matthew Stafford can be pried off the Lions. I think Matt Ryan could be pried off the Falcons. They're to float you for a year or two or three. Stafford's younger than Ryan. You have contract problems with both of those guys. Are you interested in Dak Prescott? If you knock the Cowboys out of the chair, you could make that deal. Sam Darnold, you could make that deal with the Jets. Carson Wentz, you could make that deal with the Eagles. There are veteran quarterbacks that have started in this league that you can make a move for. Cam Newton, if you want to go sign him, if you think that this year was the 1 year he needed to get back completely healthy. They're quarterbacks that can be had this particular year. Now, the most intriguing thing of all to me is the fact that the Houston Texans did not come out yesterday and say, Do not call us.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Do not call us and ask about Deshaun Watson because the answer is no, hell no, and the phone gets hung up before. I mean, I'm not even singing you straight to voicemail. My voicemail is full. Deshaun Watson is not available. If he is, I'm moving heaven and earth to go make that deal.
Didn't it come out yesterday that there was rumors that he had kind of talked about asking for a trade?
He was furious because they hired a general manager when they told him they were going to consult him, and then he found out about it on Twitter, and he's steamed about that, and he was steamed about the fact that they moved DeAndre Hopkins without talking to him. And it's like, you want to build around me, but you're not making me a part of anything. I know the feeling. Believe me. So when he goes out and says, hey, look, man, I think I might want to be traded, and they come out and they say, well, we're going to let that story stay out there, that tells me they're fishing.
Yeah.
Now, T-Bob put out a poll in the morning show that said, would you trade Michael Thomas and a first-round pick for Deshaun Watson? And my thought was, where do I sign?
Yeah,
because I think the price
you can find a receiver.
I think the price is 3 times that. I think to talk to the Texans about Deshaun Watson, it's 3 ones. And something, 3 ones in a player, 3 ones in a lower draft pick. He's that good. 25-year-old passers that lead the league in passing yards and are Pro Bowlers and have no injury history. And, well, I shouldn't say he has no injury history. He had a college injury history. But there's no professional injury history, and there's no baggage off the field. Never come on the market.
You're getting a new GM who's been with the Patriots, and the Patriots are a team that will trade. The Patriots have traded more draft choices than any franchise in the NFL. And right, wrong, or indifferent, GMs like to have their guy. They just do. It's something in their DNA. Even if you have a guy like Watson, sometimes they like to have their own guy. I'll tell a personal story. I might have told you this before, Hanny, but so when I was done, I'd already turned down the Saints. I was retired. Well, the Chargers had like 6 running backs get hurt. Phillip Rivers was calling me. My running backs coach was calling me. The head coach, Mike McCoy, who was my coordinator in Denver, I was talking to all these people. Like, we want to bring you back. Because they were at a point when it was like 3 weeks left in the season. They were trying to finish the season. They weren't going to make the postseason, but I knew the offense already. They're like, we're trying to bring you back. Would you come back? I'm like, for Phillip, I would. I'd come back for Phillip for these 3 games. But the GM didn't want to pull the trigger because I wasn't one of his guys. I was one of A.J. Smith's guys who he replaced. And that was the reason.
You were going?
I would have gone. Oh, I would have gone.
How much money did that cost you?
Oh, money wasn't even the deal. I mean.
Yeah, but I mean.
$75,000, 3 games.
For 3 games, you're making a little
It'd been
cheese there.
It'd have been $200,000 maybe, something like that. Because of how many
I'm not
years
doing
I
anything
played.
for the next 3 weeks. I'd take $200,000.
Right? No. I'm saying I was going to do it. It wasn't the money, but I was going to do it for Phillip. I mean, he was calling me.
The GM nixed it, really.
And the GM just wouldn't pull the trigger. And I think it was because I wasn't one of his guys. I was A.J. Smith's guy.
That's petty.
And he brought in a guy that he had drafted with the Colts. He came from the Colts. They took the guy. I don't even remember the guy's name, right? And that plays, man. That stuff happens.
GMs feel kind of like, I don't want to say a father figure, but they want to take their young guys that they brought up. And you see it a lot of times when GMs move, they'll bring other players that have failed other places that they've had a history with. They bring them with them. It's just someone they feel more familiar with.
We're going to talk about Saints-Bears. That's where I was going, and we got off on the quarterback tangent, but that's okay. We're going to do it at the top of the next hour, I believe, hanging with Hester and Hanny. Brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Richard Dixon hanging out with us on a Friday afternoon, and glad you are as well. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Saints and the Burrs on Sunday afternoon from the Superdome. Chicago Bears and the Saints played an overtime game in the regular season. Very, very different circumstances this time. First of all, the game's in New Orleans and not in Chicago. Second thing is the Bears have changed quarterbacks since then. Nick Foles was a QB for the Bears in that one. But the other thing that we probably need to look at just a little bit is the Bears on the other side of the football, and this was Sean Payton on Chicago down the stretch defensively.
Well, they're top 10 third down defense, number one. They're difficult against the run. It's a heavy front. They rush the passer exceptionally well. I think the back end is playing very well. They've got two real smart, savvy safeties. the same way at the corner and nickel position. So, but they're getting off the field on third down. Their red zone numbers are good, and they create some real difficult matchup problems.
Yes, you were talking about Roquan Smith yesterday. I mean, who's had a monster year for Chicago.
Hey, he's a good player, and I remember whenever him and Devin White were playing in the SEC together, those guys kind of got the same comps over and over again. And this defense does create challenges for you. They've got elite edge rushers, and they've got really good linebackers, and not just they can find the ball and get the runner on the ground, but in coverage as well. And so obviously the Saints like to use their tight ends. They like to use their running back there in pass situations, and so that could be something where those matchups are really crucial. And Chicago for me is a team on defense too that if they can be consistent, they're hard. Now that's been their challenge, is they have not been consistent. When they're on, they're extreme, kind of like Tampa Bay's defense a little bit.
Yeah.
When they're on, they're incredibly difficult to score against, and so we'll see which one shows up.
Is Roquan healthy? I mean, I've heard a lot of chatter this week about him maybe not being able to play in the game, and to me, that's one of the biggest things. I mean, the defense they have, they got studs all around, and you look at it. But Roquan is the guy that seems to be the biggest concern at this point.
Watching them against Green Bay, they were in that game. The final score I thought was very deceiving at 35-16. It was about 8-9 minutes to go. It's a 21-16 game, Green Bay, and the Bears have the ball. The Packer 20, fourth and less than a yard. It was an asinine play call that they end up turning the ball over on downs. If they just sneak Trubisky, which I think they were loath to do because they had done that 4 times already
successfully.
But it's a foot and a half, man. This guy can get 18 inches of real estate for us, and then you play in first down. I don't think the Bears win the game because whenever the Packers needed Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball to Devontae Adams, they could do it.
Yeah.
But I do think it was probably more like a 7-point game than a 19-point game. The Bears turned the ball over. The Packers had a short field. They cashed in, and they put the game away. But if we're sitting there in the Superdome at 21-16 with 8 minutes to go, I won't be nervous, y'all.
Yeah, I'll be very nervous.
I mean, after what happened last year against Minnesota, I'm going to be a little bit nervous.
But I got to feel a little bit better with the health of the Saints right now. It seems like you're getting a lot of you guys
getting just
back.
About everybody back.
You got the offense. Moscona might have had the stat earlier when you talked about the studs with Kamara, Michael Thomas, and another one. They'd only played 10 quarters on the field together.
Drew Brees.
They don't play 10 quarters on the field together. That's insane to me to think about. Those are their studs.
Don't forget 9. We'll continue this when we come back.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hey, T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Tommy Lasorda was drafted by the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1948, starting an association with the franchise that would last for the rest of his life. Lasorda died today at age 93. He managed the Dodgers for 20 years, winning 2 World Series titles. He also managed Team USA to Olympic gold in Sydney in 2000. The Cleveland Browns are reopening their facility today as they prepare for Sunday night's wild card game against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. NBC's Al Michaels.
One advantage they have, of course, is the fact that you have no fans there, or I guess they're going to have friends and family to the extent of 2,500 fans, which is the equivalent of nobody there. So at least, Mayfield can call the signals, can change the play.
The Browns practicing today, their first since last Friday because of COVID-19 issues. The Pacers will allow up to 1,000 fans per game at Bankers Life Fieldhouse for the next 2.5 weeks. The team will consider increasing the number gradually after that.
Download the DraftKings app and use code MAX to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 3, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, and Richard Dixon with us here on a Friday afternoon. If you're with us on 104.5, 104.9 here in Baton Rouge, surrounding area, if you're up in Shreveport, 1130 The Tiger, if you're watching on CST, if you're watching on YouTube. Hey, you still got time to get in for the hat, right? We're giving away the Louisiana hat.
So we're giving away the state of Louisiana LSU hat here, the one I've worn and been asked about before. You can't get those anywhere, so it is very, very rare sighting to see one of those out, but all you have to do.
One you're giving away?
That's the one, yeah.
I can't
Stop touching it. Stop getting fingerprints on it. The way to win it, as y'all know by now probably, is follow us on Twitter at Hangin on 104.5. Hangin, no G there, not hanging. It's Hangin on 104.5, and then hit us up on YouTube. Subscribe there on the Hangin with Hester and Hanny page.
I've never seen quite a clamoring for a hat before.
This is it's gotten a lot of.
Paul O'Neill's taking bribes during the break. Did you see it? Because he's in charge of putting the wheel together. We're big wheel spinners here. So Paul O'Neill's in charge of putting together the wheel. He's taking like bribes.
So we put it out on Twitter yesterday. We got 15 comments like asking how to get, and
how about that?
15 comments like saying done. Both are done.
Hey, DM me with some cash. I got you taken care of.
You ain't no. Yeah.
Look, I'm first in line. I got one.
Oh, he keeps asking for it. I'm like, wait a minute. He's like, I got a friend that needs it. I'm like, yeah, well, what do I benefit from that if you've got a friend? Like,
it's my shoe guy.
I don't get it. And I hadn't gotten the first pair of shoes.
Well, I get the hat, you might get a pair of shoes. You and Gordy are the ones that are always running the bling through here, and we don't ever get anything. So quid pro quo, man.
Yeah.
A little help.
Hook me up with your shoe guy. I'll go get you the hat.
I got a good shoe guy.
All right.
I got a really good shoe guy. She's actually a shoe girl.
Shoe girl.
I got a really good shoe girl.
She a boot girl?
If it's from Nike, yeah.
I don't know if Nike has boots.
Not a problem. So we'll do that at the end of the hour today. If you're just joining us, you're looking for word on Marcus Freeman. Have you moved it from like the 1 yard line to the half-yard line?
Yeah, I think it's done. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
Our indication published
is
reports, plus our indication, plus we've checked with this. Unless
I would expect an announcement today.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, sure.
And if it doesn't happen, that would be a complete shock.
Every now and then, something goes sideways at the 11th hour, but we're not expecting that. We think,
no.
No, but how good is it that, on Tuesday, O said he would like to have his staff in place by the team got back on Monday, and it looks like it's going to happen.
You asked me during the break, Rich, if this was a very quiet coaching search, and my answer was quiet in a sense that the first names that came up got the jobs. That doesn't happen all that often. Whether it be assistants or head coaches, many times you'll see athletic directors in an introductory press conference go out and say, he's the only person, especially elongated coaching search, he's the only person we offered a job, which is horse hockey, okay? You only offer the job to the guy after you know he's going to accept it. But you ask all kind of people, hey, would you take the job?
Yeah.
And then they say, well, no, I wouldn't take the job.
Well, I didn't offer it to you.
Yeah, right, exactly. We called Bill Belichick and we said, hey, would you take the job? He's like, no, I got a job. Oh, well, we didn't offer it to you. But so it's a little bit ambiguous when you talk about it in those terms. But in this case, we know of no other people that came to campus and interviewed other than the guys that it looks like that they will hire. That's pretty rare, which means that in my head, they got their first choice. Why would you not bring in somebody else if you had them higher in the pecking order? You identified guys. You brought them in for interviews. Everything checked out. You signed them to a deal. You brought them on campus. They were there for the first day. You took about a month from the end of the season to the time where you brought these guys in. That is the vetting period. If Freeman signs today and is at that meeting on Monday, this was very well done. Now, does this mean the guys are going to all be great coaches and they're all going to fit? No. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But this means that your execution of the search was properly done. You took the time to vet all of your candidates. You identified the best ones you wanted. You brought them in for an interview. You got through the interview. You offered them the job. They took it. They were here for the first day of class. That is, by definition, exactly how this is supposed to go. Now, if they miss on these guys and it turns out that Pete's can't call plays or that Freeman is here for 6 months and he's out the door and he never really gets a chance to sink his teeth into it, well, that happens. But at least they went about the procedure right.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time it's gone right in LSU in a long time. You talk about the quietness. With the old administration staff, it seemed like the leaks are always out. This guy's in. This guy's thinking about it. We didn't hear anything until it was almost a done deal on this one. And I think that's the biggest change in the culture that has happened at LSU recently.
I agree with you because in years past, man, we all remember what a fiasco it was.
Every coaching search was a fiasco for the longest time.
And it was. And Hanny, you might even be better to speak on this than I, but I remember when Saban left, it was Petrino, right? Petrino was one of the names, and Skip wasn't a big fan of that, right?
Well, they met with Petrino.
I was hoping. God was like, please don't let that happen.
Well, they met with Petrino, and what Skip he said this on the air. I'm not telling tales out of school. What he referred to as a seedy hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, just to stay out of the limelight. They met with him there, and the interview was a disaster. As Skip tells it, just was not going to happen. You guys talk about fiascos in coaching searches. I remember very well the 1994 search for a coach, which was, if you weren't born and you weren't around then, or you weren't following LSU football then, and you just looked at what they do now as opposed to what they did then, you would be just flabbergasted, because the candidates were on campus. Jerry DiNardo took a tour of campus. WAFB and WBRZ followed him around campus as they were taking him on the tour. He was still the Vanderbilt coach, and it was like, here's Jerry DiNardo getting off the plane to interview for the LSU job with no guarantee that he would be offered the job or if he would take it if he did. And you said, well, of course he would take the job. He had a buyout problem, which had cost them Pat Sullivan about 5 or 6 days before. So they were embarrassed about that. They had gone so far as to call the press conference. We were ready to go cover the press conference, and then they had to cancel it because Pat Sullivan couldn't handle his buyout, and Joe Dean refused to pay it for him. So they had to start, and they had gone down the road with John Cooper, which got Cooper a raise at Ohio State, which was a pipe dream to start with. And so then they bring in DiNardo. And BRZ and AFB are following him around. I mean, he is going up. I remember him going up Victory Hill, and like, what are you going to see? I'm watching the campus. And then they got back down to the the administration area, and they got I'm sorry, this is very funny to me because I remember seeing it live in person, which was Jerry DiNardo getting a call with Joe Dean, and Joe Dean promptly back into somebody in the parking lot of Tiger Stadium. But that's how public it was back then, which is completely
unthinkable now.
He backed into something.
He backed into. Joe Dean was one of the worst drivers ever, and look, there's documentation on that. But anyway, he backed into somebody, and DiNardo told the story enough times over the years, everybody got a chuckle out of it. He's like, yeah, I'd been on campus for about 6 hours before I found out that Joe Dean was the worst driver ever. Yeah. And, Joe with the lake and all that stuff. Anyway, but that's how public it used to be. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was 25 years ago. Now you get the leaks, you get the plane tracking software and all that stuff. So this was very well done. Yeah. This was buttoned up, identified the guys they wanted, went out, got them, and let's move on. So
I mean, Jake, what did you just come across on Twitter that we're not the only people poaching Carolina Panthers staff for?
No, we're not. Carolina Panthers assistant Marcus Satterfield to be South Carolina Gamecocks next offensive coordinator after Mike Bobo leaves them after promising he would stay with Beamer at South Carolina to go be the Auburn offensive coordinator. So apparently Carolina had this staff put together.
It's a lot of what Joe Brady's done. And are these guys going to implement what Joe Brady's done?
Although Satterfield was a longtime assistant with Matt Rule, was with him at Temple, so they had a history there, so they've been together for a long time.
Any chance that the guy wants a college job more than a pro job, but if money's not, the deterring factor?
Yeah, it could be. Could be like we talked about. What day was that? Tuesday, Wednesday?
Maybe he likes camp.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody likes camp.
No.
Do you think it's a little strange the amount of turnover Dave Aranda's having in his first year at Baylor? It seems like a lot of people falling off that staff.
3-7 will do that.
Yeah.
They had one of the more difficult schedule navigations.
Like the first 3 or 4 games.
Yeah. I mean, everybody had to deal with some of that, but he had to deal with an awful. They were 3 weeks deep into the season before they started.
Their first 3 games got canceled.
Yeah. I've said this a number of times on a variety of topics. I don't want to make any rash decisions on anything that happened in 2020. Yeah. If I can base it on a pattern before that and this pushed me over the top, that's one thing. But if it's just 2020 on its own, I'm inclined to let it slide a little bit.
I think it's funny if you go back to conversations we had on the show, right March, right at the beginning of all this COVID stuff, with all this financial stuff, we doubt we see a lot of coaching turnover coming up next year.
Slow up. God, we definitely said
we were
that
wrong
loud
on that
and proud. Yeah. Oof.
We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Hanging with Hester and Hanny. And Richard Dixon with us on a Friday afternoon, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Meet football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that. Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Man, if you're a pro football fan this weekend, this is as good as it gets. This is the most playoff games we've ever had in a single weekend ever. The new format, triple headers both days. I mean, this is going to be this is going to be, I think, a lot of fun. Which game of the six besides the Saints? Let's take the Saints out of it first. Just a second. Give me one that. Oh, Hess, I'll let you start.
That wasn't going to be mine because I think the Saints are going to take care of business. For me, I think a very intriguing game is the Colts-Bills. And stay with me a little bit. The Bills, it's a little uncharted water for them, right, to make that kind of run, to finally get over the hump of the Patriots. And, sometimes when you do that, you get in a scenario, you tend to relax a little bit too much once you get into the postseason, just if you've never tried to do it before. And let's not forget the Colts. And there's probably people listening like, well, I just picked them because of Rivers' team. No, they're 11-5 with a defense that most of the year was the number one defense in the NFL.
And the emergence of Jonathan Taylor now.
Ended up fourth leading rusher, I think, or fifth.
And 250 yards last week.
That'll help the last game, but they can run the ball. Phillip can make enough plays. And their defense, now they've been up and down, like we talked about the Bears with the Buccaneers, but they seem to be coming back at the right time. Look, that's a 7 seed that's 11-5 and has every opportunity to upset the Buffalo Bills. I cannot wait to watch that game. The Bills are a fun team to watch as well.
I would give the Colts a great chance against any other AFC team this weekend. If they were playing the Steelers, I'd give them a great chance. The Browns, certainly with what they've gone through. And I think against the Ravens or the Titans, I'd feel pretty good. Buffalo is playing so well.
They're playing so good.
I mean, they are on fire right now. Josh Allen is playing as well as anybody in the league. I like the Colts. I think that's a really good team. I just think that this is Buffalo hasn't had a home playoff game in 20-plus years, and I know it's going to be limited seating there, but that's just an awfully hard draw for them, I think.
Yeah, for me, the game I'm most excited to watch, I think it's going to be an old-school football game, is Ravens-Titans.
Yeah.
It's going to be a ground-and-pound game. It's two of the biggest running teams in the league. I think it's just going to be a fun matchup to watch.
That one for me too, Rich, because the Ravens have gone into the last two seasons, last season especially, with so much promise in the playoffs and have fizzled out both times. I mean, they played two really bad games. It reminds me a little bit of the Saints. In 2018, I thought the Saints were the best team in the NFC. They got to the playoffs. They got right to the end. I know they got screwed on the call, but they didn't make it. The year before that, I would have given New Orleans every chance in the world to go to Philadelphia and win the next week. I don't know if they would have. I'm not telling you they definitely would have, but they would have had a great shot, and they lost. Yeah. Ravens feels like that to me the last 2 years, that this was maybe not the best team, but pretty doggone close, and they were the 1 seed the 1 year, and they fizzled out. And I think they get Tennessee here because there's a lot less light on them than there used to be. I think there's pressure on Lamar Jackson because he played so poorly in that first playoff game. He didn't play well in the second game. He didn't play quite as bad as I think the numbers showed out here. But the big stat in the game to me is how bad the Titans have been on defense. Mm-hmm. In the last 5 weeks, the Ravens are averaging 37 points a game. They are running the football like nobody's business. J.K. Dobbins has finally taken over as the lead back there. I thought it would happen probably closer to October, but it is now. And they can run the football, and the Titans can't stop anybody. I like Tennessee's team, but I think that they are in a bad matchup here. This is a bad defense against a team that can run the football. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like, but they're saying 44 degrees and partly cloudy skies. So it's like lather up and here we come. Yeah. And it is going to be a physical football game. But I actually like the Ravens here.
Yeah, the Ravens have to come over and prove they can get over that playoff hump. I mean, there's something to that last couple of times out. So
Lamar Jackson has to have a big game. He's got to show up in the playoffs.
Does he? Because I think that J.K. Dobbins is capable for going like $175 here. I mean, I don't know.
So, but you're talking about a matchup where Derrick Henry's going to do that. Like Derrick Henry's going to get his, and so if Dobbins gets his, okay, what's the other thing? What's the other part of it that can make you win the game?
But we like the Ravens' defense better than the Titans, though, don't we?
Yeah, I do, but I still think the matchup between quarterbacks is going to be the difference maker, just for me personally. Okay. I think Tannehill versus Lamar Jackson.
I think for Lamar Jackson personally, I mean, he has not played his best in the playoffs. And he
by
wants
his
to go
own
out there
admission.
by his
yeah.
own admission. And I think for him, this is a big stepping stone in his career, in his young career, to come back and play a big game in the next playoff.
I think we can all agree, and I don't want to put words in y'all's mouth, but the AFC is much more intriguing this weekend than the NFC. Like, if you take our Saints fandom because we're in Louisiana away from it, when you look at the AFC matchups, because every team that got in the postseason, right, had 11 or more wins. Like, think about that. You've got a 17 playoff, and every team's 11-5 or better. And of course, when you go over to the NFC, you've got Washington at 7-9, you got the Bears at 8-8, you got the Rams at 10-6. You go over to the AFC. Look, in the NFL, if you went 11-5, you had a damn good season. Not like an okay season. Like, it was a damn good season. If you went 11-5, like, you were really excited. I mean, you're cheering yourself. And every team in the postseason is that or better over in the AFC. I can't wait to watch AFC this weekend.
I don't disagree with anything you said about the AFC teams, but am I the only person that thinks Washington's a live dog?
I was about that. That was my next thing. That game is going to be very interesting to me, just because you're playing a quarterback that nobody knows at this point, but that
might be rotating quarterbacks.
But that defensive line for Washington is powerful.
They are for real.
And they're good. They're as good as you're going to get in the NFL, and that has been the biggest downfall of Tom Brady this year, is getting to the quarterback with 4. I think it's a matchup nightmare for the Tampa Bay.
I mean, I think Washington would have to win the game something like 17-14 or 20-17. I don't. If Tampa puts up 28 points, I don't think that Washington can get there. This is a low totals game we talked about on the show last night. Jimmy was talking about the under, and I agree. But I think Washington has got a puncher's chance here to win a field goal game under 20 points. I really do think that could happen. Of course, the game will probably end up 44-41, and I'll look like an idiot. But I think Washington is a live dog. I don't think they'll put up a lot of points, but if they get a defensive score or a defensive turnover on a short field, set up a
sack
point blank, a scoop and score, a pick that's down because of pressure that's put on Brady, I think they're a live dog.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with everything y'all said, but TB12 in the playoffs is something different. We don't know what he looks like in different colors in the playoffs, but I know he's been better than anybody in the history of this sport in that situation, in that scenario. So,
and he gets Mike Evans back. Mike Evans started practicing.
And Antonio Brown, last game out,
has been playing.
Started to look like he's got a little juice left.
Who did the Patriots play this week?
Nobody.
Oh,
I mean, that's right.
Is Antonio Brown still living with Tom Brady?
Probably.
Yeah. He's
living at Jeter's house. I mean, Lord knows they got enough room.
They got plenty of space in there. He doesn't
probably doesn't
into
even
the
see
kids.
him. Yeah.
You think Jeter's charging him extra rent? Hey, you got an extra occupant.
Yeah, that's right. It's per head in there,
Catching
right?
him for an extra $1,500 a month or something because Brown's in the West Wing.
And we, like Seahawks, Rams, that's the divisional matchup. I'm like,
Who's playing quarterback for the
I
Rams?
was about to say, is Goff playing?
Wolf.
Nobody seems to know. I know
Wolfman.
The other guy's playing. I like the Seagulls. Thank you, Kate.
Look at there.
Weekend full of NFL playoffs on 104.5 ESPN Baton
The NFL is on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'll tell you my favorite clip, though, was Jamal Adams yesterday. Oh, I'm playing. I don't care. Pete Carroll saying, it's game time decision. He goes, no, I'm playing. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm in the game.
That guy has spent some time with a team that had no shot of making the playoffs. He ain't missing the playoffs.
That's why they got him.
Yep.
You asked me, I think, on Monday or Tuesday, outside of the 1 and 2, who scares you? Seattle. They've got a championship coach. They got a championship quarterback, and they've got a difference maker on defense. And that's all before you get to DK Metcalf. But
and who disappeared in the second half of the season, but not to say he can't turn that switch.
Fair enough. But you give me a team that Russell Wilson's their best offensive player, Jamal Adams is their best defensive player, and Pete Carroll's their coach, got a shot.
Got a shot for sure.
Take a break here, hanging with Hester and Hanny. Richard Dixon with us on a Friday afternoon, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
Getting a little bit chilly here for us. So the American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning System is focusing on probably the first part of that, the heating situation with it. You can get it from our friends over at Tiger Air. They are an independent dealer of the American Standard. And when I had it put into my home years ago, it immediately started to save me money on my energy bills with the most efficient unit on the market, plus the programmable thermostat that makes it very easy for you to navigate, even when you got to make last-second changes.
Haney says it's getting a little bit chilly. It's a lot of bit chilly in this room, right? make sure that you don't have that situation. You have your room, your home at a comfortable temperature, and you can do that obviously with the American Standard that Hanny talks about every single day, because you can set it straight from your phone. That is a big-time convenience. You can also check out that Comfort Assurance Protection Plan that we talk about every single day at tiger-air.com, or you can pick up the phone for a free quote. Call them at 225-754-8687.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
All
Are
right.
we going to New York?
We're going to the Big Apple.
All right.
So Playboy Marty of Barstool Sports, formerly of Hanging with Hester on 104.5 ESPN here, and the Port City's finest, joins us now. Playboy, what's up?
My guys, how's it going? Hanny, I missed you last time.
Yeah, I think you got in late, and I left early for the Christmas party. But good time was had by all. Glad you guys got in and got to visit and got back safe. So what's it like in New York City right this second?
Cold and empty.
Hey, Playboy, by the way, we gave our bowl selections last time you were on. 9-3. I was 9-3.
Yep.
You were 9-3. Paul O'Neill, sorry, you were 6-6. That's not losing record, but it's not 9-3. So
Paul picked.
We made him talk.
Wow.
It was a whole deal. So we're doing well right now.
All right, Paul.
We're on a hot track here. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go down a list of the NFL playoff matchups. We're going to go round table here. So you'll start it off, Playboy. We'll just go match up, and you give us your pick. Sound good?
Sure. You want me to give them like all of them in a row, or just pick one game?
Now we'll go one at a time. I'll lead us here. We'll go one at a time. We're going to go round table.
We're going to go in the order of the games.
And then, of course, at the end of it, we'll let Playboy give his prop bet because he can't help himself.
Well, look, as good as he is you notice that he's in a really good mood. You see where the Phoenix Suns are in the standings.
Hey, by the way, the Knicks are decent, so we'll point that out. Knicks and Suns are decent. What's going on in this world?
I wouldn't get too excited about it.
Whoa, okay. We'll have a bet after this. Speaking of bets, let's go ahead and get to the point here.
All right.
We got the Colts, Bills, Buffalo, -6.5. Playboy, you'll start it off. Who you like?
I like the Bills -6.5. It's a bit of a public pick. I think it's like 2/3 of the money is on them, but I just think they're hot enough to get it done. The Colts finished 4-1, but they were only 2-3 against the spread, and the way I see this game going is I see the Bills getting ahead early, and I'm sorry to tip your boy here, but I don't think the Colts are going to have enough firepower to get back into it.
All right, Dick Dixon, who you like?
I like the Bills to win, Colts to cover. I just think it's going to be a little bit closer game. Phillip Rivers is going to give it all he's got, knowing he's only got a year or two left. I think he plays it tight.
Hanny man.
Bills' only loss in the last 3 months was that miracle in Arizona that DeAndre Hopkins went up and got between three people. Their last, let's see. The last game they won by 30. The game before that they won by 29. The game before that they won by 30. The game before that they won by 11. The game before that they won by 10. The game before that they won by 10. The game before that they won by 10. These guys haven't won by less than double figures outside of the Hopkins game since before Halloween. Yeah, I got the Bills.
Yeah, I've been part of 2 NFL teams that have won 11 games in a row heading into the postseason. You know how many playoff games we won in those years combined? Zero. Not a 1.
Just counting the hot team.
So the hot team doesn't factor in here. I like the Colts to cover this game. The Bills will probably win it, but I do like the Colts to cover. Phillip maybe even backdoors this thing. Maybe they're down 10 or something late, and they find a way to score late in the game. Like Richard said, Phillip Rivers realizes how many opportunities he has like this left, and that's why this game to me is so intriguing. So I do like the Colts to cover. All right, let's go Rams, Seahawks. Rams are the 3-point underdog. Seattle favored by 3 here at home. Playboy, who do you like?
For which game, sorry?
Seahawks, Rams. Seattle -3.
I got to go Seahawks lay the 3. I think it's going to be a close game. This is probably actually the one that I like the least, but neither offenses are playing particularly well. That's reflected in the total. But Goff is questionable. I don't love it, but I have to go Seattle. I'll be mad if I don't.
All right, Dick Dixon.
I'm going Seattle. I just think that they're getting fired up. I like what Jamal Adams had to say yesterday, and I think they get the job done.
Haney.
This was a split in the regular season. Both teams won by one score. I think the Seahawks won the first game by a little bit more than that. Even with Goff, I would like the Seahawks in this game. So his availability being in question. Rams get Andrew Whitworth back. That's no small thing.
That's not.
But I like the Seagulls at home.
Yeah, the best quarterbacks come to the top during the playoffs. That's why I like the Seahawks -3. All right, Playboy, Tampa Bay, Washington football team. Tampa Bay, 8-point favorites. Who do you like?
I like the football team with the 8. The Bucs are actually a real public pick. I think it's like 70%. Mike Evans, his status is up in the air. Devin White's not playing because of COVID protocol. Washington came along late in the season on defense, and the Alex Smith of old has had some historic playoff performances. So I think the Bucs win, but it's close.
All right, Dick Dixon.
I'm with you. I'm taking the Washington football team. I think that the Bucs win it. It's just going to be a little bit closer of a game. I think it's a matchup issue.
I think Washington's going to win the game. The last 2 times a team with a losing record has made the play, the only 2 times, they won both of those games. Hey, do you remember who the coaches were the last time that a losing team played a winning team in the playoffs? Was
Seattle.
it Ron Rivera? The last time. Was it Ron Rivera for the Panthers
you're right.
and Bruce Arians for the Cardinals?
That's
Will we have those same two coaches with two different teams? Buccaneers have beaten one playoff team the entire season. One. I like Washington to win the game. Low scoring, 17-14. Very, very public, like Marty said on the. I like Washington here.
Yeah,
I like them to win the game straight up.
But I'm going to agree with y'all. I've been in the situation. Remember, this game is a Washington football team home game. They're 7-9, but they won the division, so they get the home game. I've been in this scenario as well. 8-8. Indianapolis was 12-4. They came to us in San Diego. We won the game. And a walk-off 30 ISO from Darren Sproles in San Diego. So I've been in this situation. I know home field's not what home field typically is, but it still means something to me. I do like Washington to cover here.
You know what Hester's telling us is that in the playoffs, the regular season don't matter.
It does not matter.
Different football.
Okay. Ravens, Titans, speaking of the Ravens, we beat them by like 3 scores 3 weeks before the postseason. They come to Denver, they beat us. So the playoffs, you hit reset. Let's go Ravens, Titans, Baltimore, 3-point favorites here. Playboy.
This is actually my favorite bet of the weekend. I love the Titans with the 3. I love a home dog in the playoffs in general. They beat them last year. The teams haven't really changed all that much, except Jackson has been a little more neutralized. And Tennessee's biggest weakness is their secondary. And I'm willing to take the points against, Lamar Jackson throwing dimes. So I love the Titans.
I'm going with the Ravens. I just think Lamar Jackson's going to play big.
Annie.
So the last 5 games, the Ravens are averaging 37 points per. The last 3 games, the Titans have given up 25, 40, and 41. If the Baltimore Ravens score over 30 points in this game, which given those stats seems likely, I don't think that the Titans keep pace here. There's enough defense on the other side here. I like Baltimore to erase the playoff demons here and win on the road.
In a playoff game like this, give me the best player on the field. The best player on the field in this game is Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry is a man amongst boys. He's proven that time and time again. They're going to hand it off to him as many times as it takes to win this game. I like Tennessee to cover the 3 points.
We have a split decision.
Hey, I like it better that way than when we all agree. That's when it gets a little scary. All right, we'll save the Saints game for last. Let's go the Cleveland Browns. Yes, they made the postseason against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 6-point home favorite. Playboy, how do you see it going?
Can I sit this one out?
No, you cannot.
Okay, I'm not. If I had to, gun to my head, I guess I'm going Steelers, but I'm not touching this one, at all. Like, if you're betting this game, you're smarter than me. Steelers are struggling too much to lay 6, and the Browns' whole team is out. So I don't really know what to make, but if I had to bet, I'll probably go Steelers.
I'm going Browns. The Steelers have been struggling. They haven't been playing very well, but the Browns are making it to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. I think there's a lot of energy. I think that they're going to play the best game they've had all year.
When the Browns had to win last week against the Steelers JV, they won by 2. When these teams played at full strength early in the season, the Steelers won by 31. That, given all of the Cleveland problems, give me the Steelers minus the 6. I'd love to be able to pick the Browns. There was my second class. I can't do it. It's Steelers here.
Give me Big Ben, postseason experience, Heinz Field. That is a big-time home field advantage. And, again, I take the fans out of it. Just being at home, not having to travel, to me that means something, especially here in the postseason. The Steelers, they don't win games in a pretty fashion. But remember, there was not that long ago, they were the only undefeated team still in the NFL. So I like them in this spot. The Browns, too many distractions, and I know they can't help those distractions, but you're talking about a team that hasn't been able to get into their facility this week, right? So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers minus the 6. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Saints-Bears. Saints, 10-point favorites in the Superdome, going against a Bears team that got into the postseason with an 8-8 record. Let's hear it, Playboy.
Well, I don't think I'm going to make any friends here, but I like the Bears with the 10. It seems like every Sean Bates playoff game lately has been close, like 23-20, something like that. And their offense is, less explosive than teams of the past. So I definitely like the Saints to win, but just 10 is a margin that I don't see them hitting.
I'm going with the Saints. You got all your weapons back. I think they want to put it all together and make a showing for the playoffs.
This should be New Orleans, but I keep going back to, the Bears changed out the quarterback, but this was an overtime game in the regular season. I know it was in Chicago, but this was a 3-point game. The Saints felt like they were in control and then a fourth quarter 10-point comeback that got Chicago to overtime. Doesn't that seem a lot like the scenario that's plagued the Saints in the playoffs? Didn't you feel like, oh, yeah, they're going to beat Minnesota. Oh, yeah, they're okay. And then they lost? Hang on a second. I don't think they lose the game, but I'm not laying 10 here. I'll take the Bears and the points, Saints to win the game.
All right, I agree. I'm going to take the Saints to win the game, but 10 is a lot in the postseason. These two teams, we've seen them matched up before. The Bears defense does have elite players at every single level of that defense. So Saints win, Bears cover. So that is our picks.
77% of the money on the Saints, by the way.
Yeah, that's surprising to me.
Well, y'all can thank me for the last two picks not going one way.
Yeah, fair enough.
I had to be the outlier.
Hey, Playboy Marty, we always appreciate the time. We appreciate the picks, and stay safe and stay warm up there.
Oh, I will. I'll try. I'm about to go hop on XM Radio. It starts right after this show. So once Hester and Hanny ends, y'all go switch over to XM 85.
All right, there you go. And catch Playboy Marty on XM, Sirius XM channel 85 there. Playboy, we appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, big guy.
Today's show brought to you in part by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain, whether you've been hurt in an auto accident or some other injury, an old sports injury. Just sometimes you're getting a little bit older, things hurt, disc, muscle, and ligament strains, neck or back discomfort. Let them ease your suffering as they've done for me and other members of my family. Sometimes it's just some stretching and some exercises. Sometimes you need dry needling or electric nerve stimulation, ultrasound, or cryotherapy. Now you can get your therapy at 13406 Airline Highway, 2832 Plank Road, or 9026 Jefferson Highway. That's near Drusilla. Easy access from both I-10 and I-12. Louisiana Injury Centers and Dr. Michael Goff. All right, we're giving away the hat when we come back. We're doing Ask Us. That is all next. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
GoTro's Outdoor Power as we open up 2021. Our friends over at Skag still offering you a terrific deal on all of their zero-turn mowers. This is whether it's residential or commercial. 60 months, interest-free financing. And, we talk about that, but all your blowers, all of your trimmers, all of your generators, all of your chainsaws, all of your pole saws. GoTro's Outdoor Power gives you a variety of options. Right now it's cold. We're not thinking about property maintenance, but before too much longer we will be. So you get it where you get it at the best price and the best customer service.
And that's why we always say, go check out the showroom if you can in Gonzales and Baton Rouge, because it's worth going in there and seeing all that they have to offer over at GoTro's. And again, the website, GoTro'sOutdoorPower.com, you can see it all there as well. It's an incredibly easy website to navigate. Remember, free delivery across the state of Louisiana. So no matter which corner of Louisiana you're in, free delivery to your doorstep. GoTro's, we make it easy.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench, did the Saints manage to win and advance? Fingers crossed. Plus, we'll recap the basketball weekend that was, as both LSU and the Pelicans were in action, and we get you prepped for the College Football National Championship. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Ask Us is brought to you by Coors Light.
Yeah, Richard's already
He's already way ahead of us, right? All right, so we can crack open cold as the Rockies in the slim can.
Don't get much colder than that.
No, this is pretty good. So we will toast to the end of the week and LSU filling out the coaching staff, big hires, and to our giveaway as Hester's. Have you made a selection?
Well, I'm trying to. So I'm trying to. Full disclosure, the first person that it landed on was Megan making money.
So you just qualify
well,
her?
She's part, she does stuff for the station.
Pseudo staff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you be eligible?
I think you can probably get her another hat. After you get me my hat for my shoe guy, and you get Dixon his hat for just being Dixon, then you can get Megan making money her hat.
All right, so I got to go with another name. I got to do it again, so we'll do it right before we get off air.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough?
We'll tease.
Yeah, we got to because
3-hour tease.
I don't think that,
All right, so we go to Ask Us, brought to you by Coors Light. Again, the official beer of Hangin with Hester and Hanny. Cold, crisp, refreshing Coors Light in the slim cans. Perfect if you're watching football this weekend. And, of course, our friends over at Blue Moon as well. You can pick them up for the weekend anywhere that you buy beer and enjoy the cold, crisp, refreshing taste of Coors Light. They bring us Ask Us every day. Ask Hanny, when you have your surgery, do you expect Cake and everyone at 104.5 to sing Get Well Soon when you return, like on Seinfeld? So everybody at 104.5 here is like, who's in this room? Because the rest of the building is empty. Everybody's working from home.
Y'all should have seen me trying to get in this place.
Right. You got to work at it a little bit. So, no, I'm not thinking that there will be cake and a party when I come back. Ask Jake, will you be renting out your 12-passenger van to the Pizza the Freemans? Great way to make some extra coin.
Well, the thing is, I think they both have 6 children, if I've read the reports right. So, actually, you would need a 16-passenger van if they had their spouses with them. So, I can get 12 of them. I can drive the most of the family. I can't drive everybody, though.
This is a terrible question. Ask Us, it's National Bubble Bath Day. When was the last time you took a bubble bath?
Terrible question. I've got 4 kids. No.
There's a bubble bath in my house every day.
People know that I am okay with taking a bath. I'm okay. My body hurts. I am okay throwing those jets on in there.
Well, you're okay because you can fit in a bath. Last time I tried to sit in the bath, like my butt's the only thing that gets
No,
wet.
I got the oversized tub for a reason, man. My whole body, sometimes that hot water is like try to turn into a hot tub. I can't afford a hot tub, but I can afford a hot bath.
Yeah, but that's one of the things we had to change. Well, wanted to change because my wife doesn't like. I'm not in the bathtub at all, but she doesn't like the oversized bathtub.
Ooh, I do.
Because
I would like a bath.
It takes too long to draw
bathtub.
the water. Her deal is it's too big for her, and the water, it takes too long to draw, and it gets colder faster. She wants She wants a smaller.
I got 2 tankless.
No. I mean, I'm talking about while it's sitting there. No, I'm not talking about the amount of hot water that you have, the amount of time that you have it.
Crank it up.
All right, Tracy, they didn't buy your.
Sorry, Tracy. Love you, though.
Let's see. Ask us, do you believe that Death Valley will be at full capacity for fans in he's saying the summer of 2021. I think he means the fall of 2021.
Pray. I mean,
yeah.
But I nobody can guess where
Nobody
anything's
can.
going right
I mean,
now.
we let's be honest. We didn't think we'd be still here at this point in March.
No, I mean, shoot, you remember Scona back in the summer saying, "Oh, we'll have 80,000 fans in Texas in the Death Valley," but you know nobody knows, and it's just forever changing.
Please don't mess up that first trip to the Rose Bowl.
I'm hoping. Ask us, Michigan State or Purdue tonight. I have no opinion on the game.
Purdue played well the last time out. Depends on where that game's at. East Lansing, take Michigan State.
Ask us, ask Charlie, will you bring back Outside the Box in the spring? We are actually working on a new baseball podcast. I'm not ready to tell you everything about it yet, but the answer is yes, sort of. Ask us, will LSU lead the SEC in defense with Derek Mason as the defensive coordinator?
So will Auburn lead with Derek Mason?
That's what. The question is actually, it says Moscona says Mason is horrible. So will Auburn lead the SEC in defense?
No, they will not.
No,
I mean, I got 13 other shots.
Yeah. And football's changed. I'll be very curious to see how he's adapted. I know he's been at Vanderbilt, but I'm curious to see. I consider how he's going to do there.
All right, ask us. Anyone pulling for Bama on Monday? That's from Bama Gump. No, I don't root for
Bama Gump. I love that you listen to our show. I
absolutely appreciate it.
I absolutely appreciate that. But Ohio State gave us Joe Burrow, so
I wouldn't have,
and Marcus Freeman potentially.
I wouldn't have expected him to root for LSU against Clemson last year. So I'm not rooting for Alabama. All right, with time to pull.
Maggie Gibson.
Maggie Gibson.
You are the winner of the hat. Congratulations.
So how are we gonna get her this hat?
Better hope she was
We'll
listening.
get Paul direct message her from the Hangin on 104.5 account, and we'll get the address. But I enjoy doing this. I'm gonna find more. Sorry, Hanny, you might be down the line. Sorry, Dick Dixon. Like I need to get more of these hats.
I'm a shoe guy.
The interaction.
I will go around you.
This has been
I'm just going around you.
Yeah, do that. But we're gonna have more to give away. I enjoyed that. Maggie Gibson, you get the first one. We'll have more. I promise you.
All 6 NFL games on ESPN Radio this weekend. Richard, have a great weekend, man.
Yes, sir,
Thanks
you too.
for stepping in today. Get some beer to go, man. Get some cold Coors Light.
Never going to turn that down.
We got a little extra. For Cade Wazan, for Paul O'Neill, for Richard Dixon and Jacob Hester, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay tuned for AFR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.